Hey, hi everybody. How you doing? Welcome to Stock Markets with Bruce. I'm your buddy, Uncle Bruce. It is 8:30 in the morning Eastern Time, 5:30 in the morning where I am, and it's time for another fun day of stock market. Who knows what? Nice to see you. I hope you're doing well out there. A quick reminder to all of you who are here right off the get go. I will not be on the air this afternoon at 3 o'clock for the final hour. I'm only on for this morning's session, and we'll see you tomorrow morning. Uh, Again, Friday and tomorrow afternoon, Friday afternoon. But today, the afternoon show, not on the air. I'm going to be at the airport today here in Palm Springs, picking up my daughter, and she's flying in. And Auntie Jen says, "You're not on the air this afternoon." No, no, no. You tell those viewers over there you're picking up your daughter, and that's the end of that. So my boss has told me what I'm doing, and I have to follow orders. So thank you, everybody, for being here this morning. So we'll do the show this morning, see what's going on. We'll see how the market's going to open up, see where we're at here with this whole thing. We're looking at a pullback this morning, but not of epic proportions, and that kind of a good thing. Well, it's always a good thing, but it's interesting to watch these markets. We've had Monday really good day. We had a follow through Friday, good day Monday, Tuesday. Yesterday was wishy-washy, but ended up with a bit of a positive move. Now here we are with a bit of a negative move to start because of probably we just need a pullback, a little profit taking, and but I don't know if this is going to be much of a profit taking thing. This might be a half an hour of, oh yeah, some folks are realigning their investments, and then they'll just come plowing back into this market because there is so much cash coming into the market. It's unbelievable. It has nowhere else to go. Uh, the Dow down 144 in the pre-market. That's the indication at the moment. We have S&P showing a negative 18.75 right now, and we have the Nasdaq showing 68.5 on the down dip. About zero point 0.4 of a percentage point, not even a half a percentage point. This is what we call a classic nothing burger. But that's all right. We like this. By the way, crude oil down 89 cents. 71.49. It sort of got to $73 the other day, and it's kind of now found a bit of resistance here, and here it is. We'll see if the oil market can hold $70 a barrel. Biden had a chat with Putin about Ukraine and all that stuff, and if Putin wanted to invade Ukraine, he can do it anytime he wants without asking anyone's permission. No one's going to stop him. Let's cut to the quick. No one is going to stop this guy. The military force that Russia has would overwhelm Ukraine so badly. But by showing the troops on the border, you're showing, you're kind of showing your poker hand a little. Like, look what I got. I can guarantee you the U.S. and NATO allies know precisely how many troops there are, where they are, what equipment they have, and whether they have backup or not. There is no lightning overnight strike happening, from what I can tell you, because the Russians are kind of going, well, if we do invade these guys, it's going to cost us billions and billions of dollars. We're going to get not such good press in the media. It might interfere with our other European partners for business. We might get cut off diplomatically all over the place. I mean, it'll really cost us. Where right now we just kind of throw a few troops over there to kind of show that we're not happy with what's going on, and we use this as a bargaining chip to get something better. And that's what was happening at this little video summit we were hearing about. In the old days, in the 70s and the 80s, the old days, I used to call the old days the 40s and the 50s. Now you guys call the old days the 70s, 80s, 90s. In the old days, President Biden would just pick up the red phone and talk to Putin one-on-one. In the old days, the head of state for the United States would talk to the head of state for the Russians, and their underlings, would talk, and an understanding would be figured out between the parties. An understanding would be worked out, and the Russians would want this, and the Americans would want that, and the NATO guys would want this and that, and they'd work it out off the grid, and it wouldn't be discussed in the media anywhere. The only people who knew were guys like Jack Ryan in the Harrison Ford movies. They'd know. It would be top CIA stuff, and it would be top State Department stuff, and that would be it. But no, now it's all in the media. It's all everywhere. Because world leaders are using the media for public opinion everywhere, whether it's to just justify why they do what they do or what they want to be doing, or to literally dissuade you from looking at this by looking at that and putting it out in the media, leaking spy photos, leaking sensitive Pentagon satellite photography of Soviet troop positions to the world media. Wow, how does that happen? And we can all look at it and then talk about it. Anyway, the point of this whole rant about Ukraine is back to oil, because the thinking was that if the Russians were to invade Ukraine, we might have oil surges because of world tension. Oil is down right now. So if you want to know how world tension is going, watch the price of oil, watch the price of gold. That's what we used to do in the 80s and the 90s and 70s. We used to watch the price of gold all the time. Gold told us what a lot of people thought, because everybody trades in gold. The good guys, the bad guys, and everyone else. So the capitalists are into gold, the communists are into gold, the dictators are into gold. We were all into gold, and we still are. But we're also now into other things, and oil is definitely a commodity that is world important to the world's function, the functioning of the planet. And then the other things to watch are cryptocurrencies, as that comes into play. Anyway, so oil is under pressure today. Nothing dramatic. It's just slumping. It's not surging right now. Calm. The other thing, of course, is that it's the 9th of December, and we don't start holiday travel until late next week, really. A week, Friday, the next Monday for sure. Right around the 20th, it all hell breaks loose until, we're all back home the first week of January kind of thing. So there'll be some increased pressure on oil for the travel season sort of thing. But, we'll figure that out. What else do I want to tell you? Oh, last night. Guess what happened last night? A great, big, momentous occasion. I had my primetime show last night, 8 o'clock. That's what it was. No, 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 no. That wasn't it. It was the GameStop deal. GameStop came up with their earnings last evening. Well, evening. Right after the market closed, they came up with their earnings, their numbers. And the good news is that their sales are higher than the third quarter last year by about 20 something percent. The posting of losing $100 and something million was sort of hyped up a lot by critics of the company. But what conveniently wasn't mentioned was that a year ago, the company also lost kind of that amount of money, but they got a fat tax break last year. They got one of those COVID subsidy tax credit things that all businesses got in America last year. Everybody, and they had to add 50 million in a tax credit or something last year, and this year they don't get that because that was a one-time thing. So last year they lost about 100 million for the 3 months. This year they lost about 100 million. There's no difference. It's a nothing burger. They did not talk in heavy detail to us about all the plans and what's going to happen at GameStop. But we are getting some hints here and there. If you kind of read between the lines and you pay close attention to these cryptic announcements that come out of GameStop, you will note a couple of things now they're talking about they didn't talk about a year ago. A year ago, they may have mentioned that they were building a brand new distribution center in Pennsylvania, York, Pennsylvania. It's up and running now. That location is designed to handle all their e-commerce business going forward for basically the northeastern half of the United States, let's say. They are now finishing the build out of a new distribution center in Reno, Nevada, which is going to handle the western USA. And then they already have in Grapevine, Texas, where they're headquartered, near Dallas. They already have their warehouse there. They have their offices there. They have a warehouse there, and that handles the south and the southeast of the U.S. Globally, they I believe they have a distribution center in, I think it's the UK, in France they have something, and Australia, and in Canada, Mississauga, Ontario. So they handle Canada, they handle the UK, they handle Britain, they handle Australia, New Zealand. Um, there you go. That's now in place. Now, a year ago they weren't talking about Austin, and they weren't talking about how e-commerce would be handled from all these different locations. But they don't mention it now. But it's now obvious that this is happening. All right. That's not going to move the market, though. It's kind of boring. They did tell us about 3 months ago, very basic announcement. They've built a customer fulfillment center in Florida, and that is designed to handle the 1-800 inquiries. So if you have a question about GameStop's products, or you need advice on something that's not working properly, or you want to do a return or an exchange, you call the 800 number. You're going to get a human being in Florida, an American, who will talk to you. And this is a move that is a very good move. This is a very good move for this company. It would be a very good move for all corporate America to do this, to have English-speaking Americans or Canadians handle all your inquiries on a one-on-one basis, rather than send you to a call center halfway around the world. But generally, the American corporations don't actually think about their clients like that. They consider a 1-800 number for you a cost factor, and they're trying to reduce costs. So if it happens to come at your expense of understanding what the heck the other person is saying to you, or you knowing deep down inside you're talking to somebody in a third world country that has no power to do anything for you, they can just only say, we're terribly sorry for your inconvenience. Welcome to the world. But GameStop has opened up a customer care center, and they're staffing it up with 500 people, I think it is, maybe 600 in Florida. I think that's a smart move. But the news that caught my attention last night was a quick little, blurb that they released, and I don't know if no one's picked up on it that I can see in any big way. But I think this could be a big deal. They have now opened officially. They have now opened offices in Seattle and Boston. Why would they do that? It's simple. They're getting into some serious online stuff here. There's some serious online work being done. It has nothing to do with the e-commerce thing that they're trying to do. That's ongoing. That's already staffed. Head office is handling that. That's where this talent is there. No problem. No, Seattle and Boston. We're talking about two spots where, if you are looking to build out websites into the new world we're entering into, the virtual reality world, this meta world we're talking about, what Facebook is talking about, how Facebook wants to change their name. Matterport, the 3D imaging software company, these Oculus 3D thingies that you put on that look like gigantic, bricks in front of your eyes, that soon will be like this. Eventually, this is what you'll be doing for 3D imaging. You have to have the technical staff. You have to have the programmers. You have to have the websites. You have to have the computing power and the knowledge and the know-how. And you have to know where to recruit the right people to take you into this direction. And with $1.4 billion cash on hand in the GameStop bank account, they have the kind of capital to literally build out and get started a virtual 3D meta type world. Now, what's the end game? I don't know. Look at this face. 66-year-old man trying to tell you kids out there what the future of GameStop's going to be. I am not the qualified guy for that. But just on a really basic understanding, because that's all I've got. There's something brewing that they're going to try to make money into the company by offering some sort of online experience that you'll be able to partake in going forward, that may or may not have anything to do with the consoles you're using now to play video games, may or may not have everything to do with you signing in to their servers to then and experience online entertainment. And then, from there, it's you fill in the blanks because I can't not. NFTs and all this other stuff. But here's where I come from. I'm the old school guy. Okay, you take this and you take this and you put them together and you make this and you sell it for a lot more money, and there you go. Well, in the virtual digital world in which we live, you take programmers, you take visionaries, put them together, and visionaries tell the programmers, here's what we're thinking of doing. The programmers go, "Oh, okay, we can build that. That's pretty cool." And then people can sign into this, becoming members of the whatever club, virtual online club, and then joining in on this thing, and then playing the game or whatever they're doing, and money will flow magically, digitally. It all flows. I'm so old school. I tell you, I really do. I miss my retail store. I miss it. But I miss my retail store from years ago, like back in the 90s when I had a comic book store and a sports card store. I miss that store because back in the day, 90% of all transactions were cash. And 2 in the afternoon, you're wondering, how are we doing today? Have we sold anything today? How's the store doing? I about running around doing chores, and I come back to the store and I'll say to my young guys, "How we doing?" And I'd go to the till and I'd hit you had to turn the key to a Z thing and hit the button and turn the key back to a whatever button, but different letter, and then a piece of paper would come out of the till and will tell you all your sales and everything. And then the drawer would open up and you see if there's any money in there. And if there's money in there, you had a good day. That's how you knew. I miss those days because those days are gone. It's all digital now, and it's all online, and it's all just numbers on a screen. And us old folk, we kind of like holding cash in our hand and going, "Yeah, I'm rich. I did all right." Anyway, in this new world, Gamestop is developing a series of businesses, I'm going to guess, digital type businesses that will digitally make them money. Now, the neat thing about that is you don't need 5,000 retail locations to generate the cash like they have now. They've had in the past up to 6,000 retail locations where you would physically walk in and buy something from GameStop and go home and play with it. You will now be able to, in the future, not go into a GameStop store at all and make them all kinds of money, because they're going to make it easy for you to digitally make them richer. They're going to digitally give you something in return, and both of you will digitally be happier, I guess. But there's no cash register to look at. It's just an income statement that comes out once every 3 months, and that's the deal. And is it secure or not? That's another question. And is it a good experience? I don't know. Is it a good human experience? I don't know. That's another matter entirely. Well, Seattle is open, Boston is open, and they are hiring in both centers a lot of people, and they're hiring a lot of new recruits that are very adept at programming and 3D visualization and everything else. Again, I am not, and I cannot, and I will never be your source for accurate, highly competent discussions and descriptions of this future world. I can only tell you what's going to happen to the stock. Okay, that's all I can do. And as long as shares trade where you have a buyer and a seller, and sometimes you have more buyers and more than sellers, or the other way around, I'm relevant. Then I still have a purpose in life for some of you. But you're coming to me to say, "Hey, Bruce, can you tell me the highly detailed coordinates of the blah blah blah?" And the I can't even use the terminology. I don't even know the word. I say no, I cannot. Is it exciting? I don't know if it's exciting. I don't understand it, so I can't tell you if it's exciting. I can't tell you. I can tell you this. I will say this much: if GameStop can create a online something, whatever that something is, that excites and interests the gamers of the world into their sites, websites, what have you. The good news is, even with 5,000 stores and 20 customers at a time lined up behind the cash register to pay, they can make more money online than they can with 6,000 or 5,000 stores with 20 customers waiting in line to pay them money. because physically you can only take in so much money per minute from people to people. Take your credit card, swipe it through, give us your code. Here's your bag, get out, next one. Yeah. There's only so many people you can handle. If you've been into a busy retail establishment like a Costco, you see the 15 cash registers. This is the Achilles heel of retail in America. You see how long it takes. If you've been to a super Walmart and you notice that super Walmarts now don't have 25 or 30 cash registers anymore. They have 5 cash registers and they have 50 self do it yourself cash registers, which by the way, I hate. I absolutely despise it. Um, that's the future of checking out. And you can only do so much physically, okay? Because I am slower than a person behind the till that's an expert doing that. But I digress. For GameStop to do a virtual reality business, it's the way to go because GameStop could theoretically handle 1 million, 2 million, 5 million, 10 million gamers simultaneously playing whatever it is they want to play on this digital world that they're going to be creating. They could probably handle 100 million at the same time. The computing power is out there to handle whatever number you want to bring to the party, to the table. So, yeah, 5,000 stores could be generating $1 million a minute in business. Sure, 60 million an hour, yeah. But an online digital thingy could be generating 1 billion a minute. There is no comparison to the two. It's digital versus physical, and this is where GameStop is going. This is I think where GameStop is going, and I think many other businesses are headed that direction. The Costco's of the world and the WalMarts of the world, they have a big fat problem. A big fat problem. They got to provide parking for people to park their cars. They have to provide carts so that you can wheel around the store. They have to provide hundreds of thousands of square feet of space for you to roll these carts through all the merchandise you have. They have the massive warehouse in the back at each location. They have the trucks coming and going all the time. They got the shipping and receiving. They've got the cash register people. They got the supervisors. They got the cameras to make sure you're not stealing anything, and on it goes, all to try to make a very slim margin on everything they sell because their whole shtick is we have the best prices. And we love it because we get to touch and feel and smell and see all the stuff we want to, get, food in particular, but clothing and what have you. But we're terrible. We're the worst of customers for Costco and Walmart. Those of us who walk into the store, we are the walking disaster, the walking dead, because sometimes we leave the store with $300 worth of stuff, and sometimes we leave the store with $30 worth of stuff. They have no idea how much we're going to spend today. Whereas if we would just do the right thing and stay at home and then just click our way through the Costco website or the Walmart website or Amazon. Of course, in Amazon, you can only click. But through these retailers, if we would just stay at home and click, 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 we'd make them a heck of a lot more money. And they can handle 100 times as many of us that way. And they can then just have pickers pick. And that can be all done robotically or mostly. And then get drivers to deliver. And of course, we would then be upset by how long it's taking for the item to arrive to the house because the poor driver's got 85 stops in 6 hours and they physically can't do it, but they're told that they're supposed to do it by their bosses. And some of these guys would love to watch me and say, Bruce, is there a way I can stay at home and not do this job anymore? Can you help me out? But then we won't have any truck drivers, so can't have that. In any event, GameStop is going to be a company eventually where most of their income will come from digital transactions and they won't be from physical transactions. And there will come a day, I don't know when that day is, but there will come a time where GameStop will begin to phase out their stores because they're just going to go, these cost us money, where doing the digital makes us money, especially when digital takes over. When GameStop gets to the point where 70% of all their revenue comes in digitally, e-commerce and through gaming online, and only 30% comes in from physical visitations, say goodbye to your local GameStop store. They're going to disappear. They might disappear in that the company will sell them off to a franchisee, and a franchisee will run them. It won't be run under GameStop's, thing anymore. But I mean, literally, GameStop would then sell off their physical world to another entrepreneur, another large company to run the physical world, and GameStop will just do digital. They'll just be a master corporation, and they'll just run digital, and it'll just keep going to the point where it's 90% digital, 10% physical, and then you and I will remember Blockbusters fondly and GameStop's fondly. But GameStop's future still has a 10-year window, physically, maybe 15, but eventually it's going to disappear because the money isn't there. You can't build another 6,000 stores, you see. You've built out your stores everywhere. You've already been cutting back because you're overbuilt. And that's the way it's going. Have you noticed in your hometown where you live, anywhere in the world, I don't care where you are, have any of you noticed in your hometown where you live, how many shopping malls are under construction right now where you live? The indoor mall, with the big anchors on each end of the mall. How many are under construction? There are none. There are none under construction anywhere. There are no malls, no new malls coming anywhere. What you're noticing are malls closing forever. You've noticed that now for the last 5 years, if not 10 now, especially in North America. We have noticed the end of the shopping mall experience. The zenith of shopping malls was the 80s and the 90s into the 2000s barely, and then it was over. And then the turn went the other way. And today, shopping malls generally are hanging on. There are some who are very successful, but many are not. And these are gigantic pits of money that just sucking money out of investors' hands. The only value a shopping mall has now, going forward, theoretically, is its real estate footprint. That's the only thing it's got going for it. As far as being a cash cow generator and all that, those days have long, long left us behind. Because many of us, especially the younger crowd, as I get one day older, there are kids, coming in, taking my place. There are, I hate to say it, but there are 20, 30, 40, and 50-year-olds who've already taken my place because I've left those decades behind. And when I used to be 25, there were you went to the mall for the best selection of whatever it is you were looking to buy. Today, you're crazy to think you're going to find the best selection of whatever it is you're looking for by going to a shopping mall. You're going to go online, and it might tell you, the online search might say, "Oh, you should go to Best Buy for this," or "You should go to Macy's for that." But many times you're going to notice, "Oh, well, I can get that item I need shipped to me through Amazon Prime, and I'm not going to go downtown to get it. I'm not going to go to a mall." In the 50s and 60s, when I was the young whippersnapper and the young kid, you went downtown. You went to downtown everywhere to get whatever it is you wanted. So if you lived in a city of 50,000 people, 100,000 people, you went downtown to go shopping for shoes, for clothing, jewelry items. You wanted to buy your mom something for her birthday. You went to a jewelry store downtown, wherever, run by there were 10 jewelry stores downtown in a 2-block region, and they were all family operations. And you'd look window shop, and you'd try to find something nice for your mom, or your girlfriend, or your wife, or what have you. The furriers were downtown. You'd get a mink stole or something like that, or you'd go to a nice women's store to buy maybe fragrances or something. You went downtown. It was the 70s that we became super suburbanated, and 70s, 80s, where the super malls showed up, the big time, and that's where there was free parking and lots of it, and you could park near the door you needed to go to. If you knew your shopping mall by heart, that's what you did. But today, you go to your local shopping mall, and you'll notice how easy it is to find parking, because there just is not a crush of cars anymore. And when you go into the mall, you don't recognize the inside of the mall, because a quarter of it is dark. No stores they're closed, and the other stores that are there are mom and pop temp pop-up stores that are there for Christmas, and then the die-hard franchise stores are run by staff that are just abused by their managers, and they hate it. And you can feel it when you walk in the door. You just feel the hatred. You can feel the anger. Oh, by the way, that reminds me of something I want to show you. So before I show you this photo, I have a special photo for you. Don't go away. Before I show this photo, I was noticing this morning that Wedbush, the brokerage firm, they changed their target price for GameStop shares. They had a target price of $50 a share for the stock to reach at one point. You know they traded 165, don't you? GameStop shares were targeted at 50. They've changed their target price to 45. That's thanks Wedbush for being right on top of this market. It's trading at 160. It was at 252 2 weeks ago. They've changed their target from 50 to 45. Now that reminded me of the movie Star Wars. Okay, you just hang on there with me now. Don't go away. Just hang in there. It reminded me of Star Wars. I believe I was thinking about I think it was the third movie. I think it was the third movie, and this is the one where the Empire Strikes Back. I think it's the third movie, right? So Han Solo, not Han Solo. The young kid. The Jedi. He goes to confront his father to have that little chat with dad. And the dad brings him to the emperor. Remember the emperor? And how creepy he looked and all that. He had the hoodie on and all that. And the emperor was wanted to show the young lad what was in store for him and his friends. And after that episode, after that moment, the young man he struck out, and he and his dad were battling each other, and the evil emperor is going, "Good, good. I can feel your anger, feel your anger." I love that scene, and then when the father wouldn't when the kid wouldn't kill his dad, he got really angry and started to get at young Luke Skywalker. And I thought, well, this is what Wedbush is doing. Wedbush is I feel how angry I am. You can feel my anger at GameStop. $50 is not high enough. It is now going to be $45. And that's when this image came to mind. Yes, yes, GameStop, you are going to $45. I will get you in the end. The problem is that GameStop isn't going to $45 a share. GameStop could go higher because the world at large and the world that matters, the investors that matter in GameStop are you guys, and many more of you. Of the 585 you who are here, there are, I don't know, 100,000 times as many of you. There's 5.5 million of you, 10 million of you, 15 million of you that are following GameStop all the time. And you have a different version and different vision of what GameStop's going to become because you're figuring it out like I'm figuring it out. That why would you open up an office in Seattle and in Boston if you're a failing company? Hey, is this a failing retailer? If it is, why would you open up a customer care office in Florida? Why would you have a distribution center in Reno? Why would you have another distribution center in Pennsylvania? Why are you doing all that? Why are you stealing people from Amazon? Why are you stealing people from other places? Yeah, some people have come and gone. Obviously, there's turnover in GameStop. We've had one senior person already leave, but that's to be expected. We're talking about a company that's completely regurgitating itself. A complete turnover of personnel at the top has happened and will continue to evolve. But to say that you're going to go down, oh, I'm afraid your friends have entered into a terrible trap. Oh, I'm afraid. I don't think so. I think the emperor might be wrong on this one. Unfortunately for GameStop shareholders, today is not the day that the Death Star blows up and Hans kisses the girl and all that. That's not. We're not at the end of the movie yet, but we're into the dark days. The question now is just how long will it take for GameStop to tell us or be able to tell us what they're really up to? How long will it take for actual sleuth type detectives, those who are really following stocks and do some serious due diligence? When is it going to happen that a due diligence master, a due diligence savant, is going to unearth the secret of GameStop? and what they're going to bring us and how they're going to become completely digital and take over the world, so that the emperor will be kept in his place. And then someday the young man will pick him up and throw him down that shaft. I just don't understand. How can you throw that guy over the shaft? He has all these powers. How can he just, not just levitate himself? And I don't understand how that works. Again, I'm not an expert on all of these things. I just missed the days where you had a cash register when you ran your own business, and you opened up your cash register and you saw all the hundreds and fifties and twenties and tens and fives, and then all the coins, and you went, oh, and then your manager would come up to you and lift the cash drawer and then show you all the credit card receipts that came in, and you go, oh, we got all those too, and you look at the receipt from the till, you go, oh, we've done so much in sales today. Keep it up. Yeah, I miss those days. It's all digital now. It's so impersonal. But anyway, I'm just the way it is. Look, I know you believe me, but you don't trust me. I understand. I believe you. I don't trust you. I understand it. These shirts are available, by the way. One more plug if you want to get these shirts. But this is the man that Wedbush is saying, the stock is not going to be targeted at $50 a share. No, we're going to target the stock at $45 a share. GameStop is going to die a terrible, terrible death. And I'm sorry that you and your friends are going to cry in the corner. I don't think so. Emperor, I don't think this is going to happen. I think we're going to be all right anyway. That's what I think about. Just, if you ever wondered, if you're like 35 years old, you're 20 years old and you're watching me and you're thinking to yourself, I wonder what it's going to be like when I become this guy's age. How am I going to think? How am I going to react? I remember when I was like a teenager, and my dad would tell me, "Oh, that music you listen to, I don't know about that." And I'm listening to the Beatles, and I'm listening to the Mamas and the Papas, and I'm listening to CCR, and my dad's kind of looking at me, going, when you turn 40, your taste in music might change. And I'm thinking, oh wow, this is going to happen. Like, well, as soon as I hit a certain age, I'm not going to like the Beatles anymore. I already thought this was true. And I mean, all the relatives were telling me this. I don't know about you guys, but all of my relatives when I was a kid was telling me, yeah, when you become an adult, when you grow up, your taste in music is going to completely change. And you're going to have a mature ear now, you see, with a mature brain. And those songs of yeah, that won't be a part of your life anymore. And I thought, oh man, that's going to be a bummer, because I got all these albums. I got this record player, and I got these headphones, and I got all these albums, and I love reading the lyrics and looking at the photos, and I read all the liner notes about where the album was produced and recorded. I'm really into music, and I'm thinking, well, what am I going to get into? Am I going to get into my dad's stuff? So I'm looking at my dad's albums, a couple days later, I'm looking at all of his albums, and I'm thinking, oh, Perry Como and Bing Crosby and the London Philharmonic Orchestra with Beethoven's whatever. And I'm thinking, is this what he means? Is this what's it going to be like when I become an older person? Am I going to completely change the way I am and lose all that energy and drive and excitement and age of discovery and everything else? I was waiting. I'm still waiting for it. I'm still waiting. I'm waiting for the day I wake up and go, oh, the Beatles suck. The Rolling Stones are crap. And, Fleetwood Mac, the hell with those guys. And Ohio Players. Oh, that was a phase I shouldn't have gone through. Ohio Players. do 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 do. But I shouldn't have done that. But it hasn't happened yet. I still think about how cool that music was through the 60s and 70s and 80s and the 90s, and I still love it. And I still listen to it on my computer when I'm not doing this with you guys. And I'm going, it's not happening. It's just I don't have a Beethoven album anywhere around here. I don't listen to Beethoven or Chopin or Mozart. And I remember, I don't know about you guys, but I remember in grade 7 we had to do an assignment in our English class, public speaking. You remember this? This is it was like a 2-week window where you had public speaking for like 2 weeks. And in 2 weeks, all we had to do nothing but assignments. And then at the end of the 2 weeks, each student had to get up in front of the class and do I think it was a 3-minute spiel about whatever. And the teacher would give you the topic. And my teacher, knowing that my father owned a music store, she gave me the topic of Mozart. And I'm just going, see, it's true. My dad is right. And so are all the relatives. They're all saying that sooner or later, when you grow up one day, you're just going to listen to this really good music and throw away this crap that's just polluting the airwaves, and you'll become a grown up. And here she gives me the topic of Mozart. You think she'd give me the topic of the Beach Boys or the Beatles or any of the other popular acts? No, 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 no. She gives me Mozart. So now I had to research Mozart, and he's an interesting guy, but they didn't have that movie out yet. That movie about Mozart, Amadeus, that wasn't released yet because we're talking 1960. Oh God, 1967, 68 when I was doing this. Amadeus didn't come out till like 1980 something, so I had to wait a long time to cheat and just watch the movie. And so I get up in front of the class to do my speech, and talk about. I mean, I was dying because every day we had 10 students a day for 3 days in a row do their speeches, and I mean, every topic was just you were just bored to tears about what topic everybody got because the teacher chose everyone's topic. And of course, what interested her. Well, that's great. Our 50-year-old English teacher, or 55-year-old English teacher who's just dying, counting the days to retirement, wanting us to talk about what turned her on. Oh yeah, the rest of the class is just like, oh, please go ahead. So now it's my turn to talk about Mozart. And she gives me the intro. Bruce's dad owns a music store, and I'm sure he's got some very interesting items about Mozart. Go ahead, Bruce, give us your 3 minutes. Oh, hell on earth, man. Hell on earth. And if she'd have let me talk about the Beatles, I would have been. You wouldn't. 3 minutes isn't enough. I mean, I could have just gone on and on. But oh no. But I got to say this. A couple years later, the world turned. And it was grade 9. And I was in English class in grade 9 with the hottest teacher in school, the hottest teacher. Now, at the time, she was 25 years old, maybe 26 years old. That would be 1969, 70, I guess. And what are we now? We're 2021, 50 years later. So she's 75 now. I don't know if she's still alive. But if you're out there, I'm not going to tell you her name. But I'm just going to say, good God, you were the most gorgeous teacher I've ever had. And every boy in that class, all of us 14 and 15-year-olds, we never missed English. We never missed it. We weren't very good at it, but we just love watching the teacher. And she came up one day. It was maybe our third month, and she said, public speaking. We're going to do a public speaking thing. And I'm thinking, oh God, here we go. And and you get to pick the topic you want to talk about. And I'm going, oh, she says, whatever turns you on is what you can talk about. Whatever you want to talk about to us, because you'll be impassioned about it. And I'm going, finally, someone who can help me learn something with something that interests me. And so I decided to talk about the Beatles, and I decided to play the song Strawberry Fields Forever. And I brought my record player in, or I think I had the school bring a record player in. She arranged that for me, told her what I wanted to do. I brought in my album, and I played Strawberry Fields Forever and gave everyone a copy of the lyrics. And then we discussed the lyrics and the song. Now, here we are 50 years later. I now can watch videos, as can you, on YouTube, and you can watch videos made by, interviewed with Paul McCartney and over the years with George Martin, and all the other aficionados out there who really know the Beatles. And this song has been analyzed to death and has been, regurgitated. And what I did in the class versus what now we're hearing about the song, nothing is similar. What I thought the song was all about, or whatever, was another matter entirely. But you know what? I got like an A- for the enthusiasm and how I was so into it, because I'm standing in front of the class talking to them about what I want to talk about. And it wasn't public speaking. It was just letting them know about this great song. Let's play it. I was one of the few, if not the only public speaker that actually played music for the class to listen to. And so everybody was into it. They all loved my presentation because it was so unconventional and it was cool to, hey, we get to listen to a Beatle track as he's doing this public thing. And the teacher is going, yeah, make it happen. This is great. Oh, she was the best. She was the best. I had her for 2 years, and oh my gosh, still think of her today. Just still think of her today. I'm sure all of you have had teachers in your lives that have affected you spiritually, and mentally, motivationally, and you think of them fondly. And I think of her fondly in a very tumultuous time. This is 1969, 70, 71, the height of the Vietnam War, the absolute, burning of draft cards, protests in the street, college kids against cops, college kids against parents, high schoolers against their parents, the defiance coming out into the open, the long hair that was now being displayed as an act of social defiance, and how and how people with short hair would attack people with long hair because they were perceived to be the enemy of the state. I mean, it was such a rough time, and the world today hasn't really changed much in many, 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 many ways, because there's still this misunderstanding between some people's ideals. But I won't go there. I don't like going there. Thank you for joining me today on the Old Man Rant. Like I said, I'm not into Beethoven as my favorite music. It's still the Beatles, and still really cool music. And what can I say? It just hasn't happened. I don't know when it's going to happen. I have no idea. Thank you for being around. I love it. We are 13 minutes away from opening up here on a Thursday, December the 9th, 2021. Thanks for joining me today. The Dow's still showing a drop of 124. We've got S&P showing a drop of 15.5 points, NASDAQ down 61, but it's all a third of a percentage point. So actually the markets are better in the last 20 minutes, 30 minutes than they were before, but they're not a whole lot better, but they're not that bad either. The oil price down 74 cents a barrel to 71.62. GameStop is showing 165.15. If I got my machine has got its bearings right. Yep, my machine, my digital display unit that I never imagined I would have in 1969. 165.37 on GameStop. What I never thought about when I was a kid, that there would be a day in my life that I would hold something like this thin. It's just unbelievable. I mean, give me a break. It wouldn't weigh a pound. It would display markets. It would display headlines, charts, quotes, colors, headlines of the company, other companies' charts available here at the touch of a finger. No buttons, no keyboard, no clunky stuff. I never envisioned this as a 14, 15-year-old. I'm sure. We were told in the 70s, the late 60s and 70s, anything is possible, because you know what, kids? In 1969, we landed a man on the moon. And I thought, yeah, in 1969, I was in high school and we had landed a man on the moon. And anything is possible. I mean, the future is just unreal. And the guys that landed on the moon had a computer to assist them to do it. But the computer that they used to land a man on the moon is so... You can't buy anything that basic today. You can't. I remember when Texas Instruments came out with a handheld calculator in the early to mid 70s. They were a fortune. They were like $300 a pop. That replaced my father's adding machine that he used for 15 years. He had an adding machine that was the size of a microwave, and all it had were 10 digits, 1 to 0, a plus minus equal button. I'm not sure if it probably divided and multiplied, I think, but I'm not sure if it even did that. But I certainly know it added and minused. Unbelievable. I mean, I used to remember him looking at his books, his numbers over here, and he would be typing in the numbers over here, not looking. And I couldn't believe how he could do that. And he, $1, $111.36 plus $222.97 and 21 plus 72 and equal, and then out comes the tape, and he would rip the tape off, cut the top off, staple it to the top of his notes. And he kept the books of his businesses doing that. Unbelievable. The speed that he had was amazing. That machine was barely more powerful than what landed man on the moon in 1969. I mean, it's just incredible what we were told at that time, the promise that we had, and we kept going to the moon until 72, I think it was. We did 6 missions or something like that. Unbelievable! It became commonplace for us to land man on the moon by the early 70s. It was like, yeah, we can always do that. We can always send guys up there. Yeah, but what are we doing it for? What do we do when we get there? What's the point of it all? What we didn't get, although we were told to try to understand as kids, as teenagers, the research that's going into doing this is going to change the world here. And I believed it because I could see already, wow, yeah, that's right. We are getting new products coming out. We're getting new, more powerful machines, and this world is becoming more automated. And it was heading that direction. But um, I would not have believed it had you told me when I was 16 years old that we won't land on the moon again until at least the 2020s. I'd be going, you got to be kidding me. Come on. It's going to be so easy. It's going to be just, we'll perfect this even better. We'll send up 20 people at a time to the moon. What are you talking about? We won't be up there. And what are we talking about now? Maybe 2 or 3 people going to the moon at one time. And there is no talk about, seriously, man landing on Mars in the next 5 years. There's none of that. That's not going to happen. It's robotics. And even if man does go to Mars, it's going to be such a cryptic trip. I wouldn't want to do it. But hey, someone's got to be the groundbreaker. I get it. But boy, it would be nice if we could fix a lot of our existing problems. That would be kind of nice. In any event, we're here. We're going to try to make some money today. Can we make money? What will GameStop do on the opening is the big question right now. Are we going to get this market to pop for us? Can we get this GameStop shares? Can the GameStop shares, let's say in the first maybe half an hour or so, have a dip, if there's going to be one, and then have a bit of a rally from there, and we pop up, to 175, 180 a share on the perceived greatness that could be coming down the road. Is that going to be enough of a pop to then convince some of you to want to write call options that expire tomorrow or next Friday to take advantage of some premium income? Or are the shares going to go right away to the 155 range, 152 range, and hang out there for the day and then have a late day rally as they limp back to 160, 65? What's going to happen? I'd love to know. I don't see a lot happening right now in the pre-market. I mean, the pre-market isn't giving anything away. Let me take a peek here at this this trading range right now. See if I can get this to work. There's GameStop on my phone. 76,000 volume pre-market. I mean, nothing burger, guys. 740 down dip to 166.25. I do not know how this will play out. We'll just have to wait and see. By the way, last night, I did happen to mention earlier, we were on the air last night at 8 o'clock Eastern Time on this channel for members only. We did the Primetime Uncle Bruce Primetime show at 8 o'clock in the evening Eastern Time. Lasted about an hour and a half, and that was reserved for members only for us to converse and say hi to each other. And you guys can ask me questions about whatever you wanted to ask me about. And we covered a lot of stuff last night. By the way, we have a new member here, Will Carruthers. Will, welcome to the channel. Victoria, British Columbia is where our friend Will is hanging out, and it's great to see you, man. Nice to have you here, and let's make money. And hello to your brother as well. Fantastic. New members coming into the channel. You gotta love it. The backbone of this channel are the members. Of course, if you're a member, you get to ask questions while we're on live during the day here, and on Wednesday nights when I'm on prime time, it's just for members only. So we have this Q&A. Now, last night, the topic du jour, what were we talking about last night was writing call options against your stock to make extra money, and we were looking to talk about how we can write poor man covered calls. And one of you mentioned to me yesterday on the air. I can't remember whether it was the early show or the late show last night. But one of you said to me, Bruce, are you saying that we should consider selling stock that we have? Let's say Matterport. Someone was asking about Matterport. I was like, are you saying we should sell our Matterport and then turn right around and with that money buy Matterport deep in the money options, like $15 options on Matterport? So that they're in the money like $11 each. Pick those up for like next year, like March, April, May, something like that, way out there. Pick up these Matterport options that are way out there. And then by having possession of those deep in the money calls way out into the future, are you suggesting that we now write short-term call contracts against these shares for added income? Is that what you're telling us to do? And I said at the time, I said, well, it's certainly an option because, for example, an April 22 Matterport $15 contract that right now is $10.83 in the money. You could pick one of those off right now for between 11.30 and 12.70 a share, and their book value right now is 10.83. So if you can scoop a $15 contract for 11.35, 11.40, that's a seriously good deal. You can now write options against those shares, and the strategy being that if you have 200 shares of Matterport right now, you can only write 2 options on Matterport at a time. 200 shares, 2 contracts. But if you sold your 200 shares and then you for $25 a piece, 25.86, and you bought these contracts here at 11 something, you'd go from 200 shares to 4 in the money contracts. And you can now write 4 contracts against Matterport instead of 2 contracts. And if you're looking for income from your stocks, this might be one way to enhance and leverage up your income. Because if you can bring in, say, by writing a January Matterport contract, you want to write a January $30 contract, $4 out of the money, $4.18 out of the money. You can bring in, as of last night, you could be bringing in about $275 to $280 a contract. Well, $280 a contract, $280. So you write 2 of them, it's $560. If you can write 4 of them, it's $1,120. Now, if you have 500 Matterport and you turn it into 10 Matterport contracts, you can write 10 contracts at $275, $280 a piece. That's $2,500, $2,800. And if the objective here is to hold the contract between now and, say, the second week of January or sooner, and buy these contracts back for like half the price or less, the whole objective is sell them for $275, buy them back for $1.25. You make $1.50 a contract. Well, if you have 10 of them, you're making a $1,500 profit on a cost commitment of $12,000 because you have $13,000 of Matterport right now. And you're making this kind of money in what, 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks? Not a bad return on your money. If you can do this every month, great. If you can do this like every 3 weeks, it's more than once a month. It all depends on which contracts you write and what premiums you're getting. I was using the example of Goldman Sachs. You can either buy 100 shares for $400 a share, 40 grand, or take the 40 grand and buy 5 in the money contracts as an example. That would be like $330 contracts, $70 book value, writing contracts on those. Well, you're writing 5 contracts at a time. Some of these are trading between $4 and $6, $7 a piece, depending on what expiry you're using and what strike price you're writing at. But there's some serious coin can be brought in. Instead of writing 1 contract and bring in $450, if you can write 5 and bring in $2,250 for the same time frame with the same amount of money in the same quality stock, worth a look-see. We did a lot of talking about that last night, and that is why my classes are a prerequisite for you. If you want to learn how to write options and you want to learn how to write poor mind covered calls and you want to figure out how options work and how they depreciate and how they can be rolled over and everything about them, you want to take my classes. Stockmarketswithbruce.ca is where you go. Don't go looking .com. It's .ca. And then find the classes. The link's up there, and watch the classes one after another. They're 2 hours each. There's 10 of them. Take your time. Make an investment in yourself, and you too someday could say to your boss, sayonara, boss, I'm out of here. I'm self-employed now. I don't work for you anymore. I work for myself. And it was nice knowing you, but, the time has come for us to say goodbye. There you go. That can be done too. By the way, we are open now because, you know why? Larry Let's just put the bells up. And that, you know what that means? We're up and running, baby. We're here. We're running this market. What is going to happen now? What kind of a day are we going to get? We were down negative all morning on the futures on the big boards. And so let's see how things look on our favorites. It's not even a minute into the market, and I'm showing Rocket Lab up 4 cents at 12.98 on 100,000 volume. We'll keep an eye on these trades. I'm showing GameStop right now 165.80 on 109,000 shares, down 785. Very quiet opening there as far as volume goes. Again, no surprise to me because the stock wasn't trading much in the pre-market anyway. Let's see. Rocket Lab is up 2 cents. SoFi is down 40. GameStop down 8. Matterport is down 6 cents. ME up 11. Spire up 47 cents. Can that be believed or not? 2,800 volume, and it's up 47 cents. No, it's not 47 cents. It's up 4.7 cents. I'm getting all excited about Spire. Spire is 433, up 4.7 cents. ATIP is down 3.5 cents. Smart Rent is up 18 cents. Sexter is down 13. IBM down $1. The Dow down 153. Microsoft up $1.26. Apple up 57 cents. Royal Caribbean going down 73.64, down 174. Goldman Sachs down 376. There's your opportunity to buy deep in the money calls and get ready to write contracts on this stuff. Make some money. Anyway, there you have it. Cisco is up 23 cents, climbing again. Cisco will go to the $60 level in without doubt. 57.25 is where Cisco's at right now. We'll give the market a minute or two longer to kind of sort itself out. I'm looking at the Dow right now, down 165 points. I've got the S&P down 15 points, and I've got NASDAQ down 46. I have oil down 62 cents right now. It's a nothing burger, kids. We have nothing going on. We're down 0.28 to 0.46 of a percentage point on the market. Antti is saying that Rocket Lab was able to launch satellites last night through their rocket. Fantastic. So that's good news. And I think that was their 109th launch, which is kind of nice. So, whatever. Anyway, hey, Bruce, that was an awesome Star Wars rant. That was awesome. Oh, man, that was fun. Thank you, Beach Point. Down 153 on the Dow. S&P down 14.95. NASDAQ down 43 points at the moment. I've got Rocket Lab at $13 even right now. It's up 6 cents. Now it's at 13.04, up 11 on 180,000 volume. I got SoFi now showing 16.66 after bottoming out at 16.52. Down 28 cents right now on 844,000 shares. Actually, now it's 16.71. We just moved up another nickel on your SoFi. SoFi's coming on. GameStop is down $1.74 at 171.90. It's a nothing burger. There's nothing, nothing. 335,000 volume. I will make the prediction that what could happen with the GameStop is now that the earnings have come and gone, the worry about a massive sell-off is over. The shares are 210, 220, 230 a couple weeks ago. We're at 171 now. This is the massive sell-off. Maybe that's what this is. There's still $5 or $10 left in it. It could go down to 159. It was there just a few days ago. But maybe this is the bottom of the range now. Maybe this 155, 60, 65 range is the bottom of the range for GameStop. And that from here, it'll wave up to 210, 220. So like 160 to 220. Maybe this is the new range. Maybe it'll turn out to be 170 to 210. It's possible. We're down 391 at 169.67 on GameStop. Matterport up 44 cents. 26.48 up 44 cents on your Matterport. 237,000 traded. ME 865 up 27 cents. Go ME on 75,900. Spire is not up $5 a share. It's up 6.8 cents a share. Spire. But that is an up arrow I'm talking about. 435.8, 8,700 volume. There is nothing for sale on Spire. The everybody who wanted out got out a long time ago. And this cheap desperado get me out of Dodge selling has happened. It's over. And now we're cleaning up the entrails here, and the market is slowly improving. Spire right now is up a dime at $4.39. $439 a share. $4.39. So 8,700 volume. It's jumping around. Okay, ATIP down 2 cents at 379 on 28,000 shares. At Smart Rent, we're down 6 cents right now, or at least that was last night's close. I have no trading yet. We'll keep an eye on that. Xterra is trading 2,700 shares, down 3 cents to 10.31. AMC down 12, Robinhood down 41 cents, Vanik down 23, Home Depot up 33 cents, IBM down 75 cents, the Dow down 117, S&P down 8, and NASDAQ down 16.5. It is a very, very light, quiet opening, no conviction. The Dow looks menacingly bad. It isn't. Down 122 from a 35,600 index. This is a nothing burger. There you go. Let's see what's going to happen. Okay. You know what? I just bought back my Gamestop 190. I got it back for 85 cents. Sold it yesterday for $5.55. Vilbus, I think those classes and whatever you're doing with me here, it's kind of working out. I'm kind of happy about that. Happy to see you. Happy to see you making some money. Well done. Bill, if you plan to buy GameStop, don't wait for the perfect price. You'll always miss it. Yeah, and mainly wanted it back to be able to write a new one if it takes a little run up this morning. Vilbus, you're on the right track. I mean, you bought them back. Now let's see if the market wants to give a little rally into the 170s, maybe up to the 180 range, and you'll write again. You bet. Splair, maybe Weebush was thinking about 145 rather than 45. Obama, babe, no one is selling GameStop, but it's all about holding, baby, and writing covered calls. That's right. Cheddar Stacks, lockup expiration date on Sentinel 1 today. No idea what this means. Vash, 400,000 volume, decent start for 9 minutes. Here we go. Spire Global selects Virgin Orbit for late load addition to next flight in record time. What does that mean? I don't know. How much money does that mean to the company? We don't know. They don't reveal that kind of stuff, but the stock's up a dime to 439. So go. Hey, Smart Rent volume, Bruce, 655,000. Is that really true? I didn't see that. That was, I know yesterday we traded some stock, but I'm not sure about that. I don't have any trading yet that I can tell you about. I don't see much going on yet, so I'll have to wait this out. Smart Rent, yeah, I'm not showing any volume. So I don't know what you're looking at, Ventures. I don't know what you're looking at. Joanne, Uncle Bruce, prime time was awesome. A great question and a real eye-opener. Joe, I'm glad you liked it last night. Those of you who are members and joining me Wednesday nights at 8 o'clock, we're able to just talk. A lot of theoretical discussion, but also some ideas, and look at different option scenarios without the market being in the way. It's closed, and we can just chat and cover all kinds of ground. It's pretty good. All right, let's see here. Matterport, let's go. I'm so far behind on your comments here. Well, actually, I'm not that far behind. Leading launch company Virgin Orbit has announced alongside Spire that they have received waiver approval from the FAA to include Spire on Virgin Orbit's upcoming launch. That's interesting. Cheddar says, Bruce, since you predicted the GameStop squeeze, can you tell me about the possibility of a squeeze in a stock that's lockup is expiring, i.e. that stock has dropped drastically before the expiration? I can't. Finally bought back my January GameStop 190s for 13.5. I sold it 3 weeks ago for $53.20. Time for another pop. How about that? That's a lovely little deal there. That's nice. Auntie says the satellite will fly as the third customer in the previously announced Above the Clouds mission scheduled for mid-December 2021 to mid-2022. I missed the show last night. Did some Christmas shopping. Oh, right on, my man. One is better than nothing, says Ratish. There you go. Rocket Lab, 13.11 up 17 cents right now. SoFi down 7 cents to 16.88. We're coming back on here. GameStop, 168.04, down 5.61. Matterport up 95 cents, now up 83. 26.86, looking very good. ME up 37 cents to 8.75. Spire up a dime at 4.39. ATIP up now 2 cents to 3.83. Smart Rent, is it truly up 12 cents on 8,500 volume? Yeah, it's up 12 cents on 8,500 volume. Okay, thank you. Sixtera down 3 cents right now at 10.31. 20-cent gain on Rocket Lab. Nice. The Dow down 240 points. S&P down 16, NASDAQ down 56. Now, NASDAQ is down a third of a percentage point, S&P down a third of a percentage point, and Dow is down 0.64, so 2/3 of a percentage point. That's what we have so far this morning. Matterport was rolling along here very quietly, and then boom, took a shot to 26.90 right here, hit 27.09 for the high today on your Matterport. And the Matterport volume so far is 676,000 volume. Beautiful. Very nice start and very smart pop-up. Those of you who own the stock, the $30 contracts might be writable. That might be your neighborhood to take a look at. You might want to look at 30s. Right now, the only contracts that you can write are December 17s. That's next week, Friday expiry. They're showing 85 cents right now. If the market wants to give you a little more movement here, they'll show more like $1.10. My quotes might be a little behind too, so forgive me because my machine is probably not accurately reflecting what it's actually doing. You folks get out there can tell me, what are the January 30s showing you right now? I'm showing 275, 290. Let me know about the December and January Matterport 30s. If any of you are thinking of writing them, those might be the ones you might be targeting. Let's see here. What's going on here? More comments. Both Rocket Lab and BKSY are on the move right now. Julie says, I couldn't make primetime last night with Uncle Bruce on your channel for a rewatch. If you want to get a rewatch, I can send you a link. I can do that. Send me a private email on my email account, brucefarmer@hotmail.com, and I'll send you a link after this show, and you can watch it later. Let's see. One is the loneliest number. I've heard that too. That's from way back in '69. I've heard that. One is the loneliest number. Julie B, it's available for rewatch. Can you please explain Spire again? Any price target or merger? Higher, much higher, but I don't know about a merger. We're up 10, 11 cents right now to 439 to 440 on Spire. And we're going to go higher on this thing. We just did buy, they just did acquire Exact Earth, public company out of Canada. They have acquired them, made them a wholly owned subsidiary. And that deal is a done deal. And the Spire shares are inching a little higher, bit by bit by bit. ATIP is up 4 cents to 385, by the way. ME up 35, 873. Matterport 2704, up $1. GameStop 165.26. We're down 839. Let's see. What else? Let's see. Yeah, Julie's saying, I can't find the link. How can Julie find the link to the show? I think what Julie needs to do is go to my homepage, for my channel homepage, and go to the community tab. Don't you think that's what she has to do? You go to my community tab, which is along the top. It says videos, playlists, community tab. You hit that, and there should be all the alerts that I've been sending you. You remember, you've been getting all the alerts, which would include last night's show. You click on that, you should be able to watch last night's show. That's my thing. Anyway, there you. Evan, I can't answer this question. Why did GameStop add a count of direct registered shares to the quarterly report? I have no idea what the answer is for you today. Coyote, Julie, check your YouTube notifications. The video is there for me. That's how I access it for rewatch. Right on. Splair says, rock on. This is great. I'm just rocketing up today, says Cheddar. Julie B, click the community tab. That's what I thought. Julie, go to the Stock Markets with Bruce YouTube page. Click on the community tab. The primetime shows are there. Okay. See? Nice. Yeah, I was able to see the recording of the live show using the original link in your announcement email. There you have it right there. Okay. Now it makes sense. Rocket Lab is up 12. SoFi down 18, now down 21. GameStop down $9 at 164.58. Matterport up 133 now, 27.36. The Matterport is moving. Up 29 on ME, up 11 on Spire, up 6 on ATIP. Okay. Julie, check that community tab. She says, thanks, thanks, thanks. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Okay, it's working. And what else is happening here? Yeah, the last time Matterport did this, I wrote too early and watched it run right past my covered call. Let's see. Can anyone give me a quote? What is the bid ask on Matterport $30 calls for December and January? I'd like to get an update. If one of you can give me a live quote. I don't have a live machine here because I don't trade stock. I just talk about it. My machine is a bit behind, I think. Thank you, everybody. There you go. NSB says, just turn on notifications for the future. If you ever missed the live show, you can still see the videos from the notifications panel. Right on. Aspire News, Canman. Virgin Orbit announced today it received FAA authorization for the late load edition of Spire Global's Adler 1 satellite in less than 36 hours. Mark Julie B. On this channel, there is a bell in the upper right-hand corner, and click on the bell. It shows a pull-down that includes all of Uncle Bruce's YouTubes. Interesting. And Roach on a Tree, 4/640. Michael, Matterport, Jan 21, 30 call, 350. Okay. Thanks for the info, Lobo Blast. I had no idea about the community tab. I thought I missed those Wednesday live streams forever. Hockey Rink, 125 to 135. DM, Matterport, January 21, 22, 30 calls, 350. Connor, 128 to 345. Rob, December 30, 130 to 35. January 30s, 330, 370s. DM, TTR, February 18, 22, 30, 430. Julie, thanks all. Got it. I can't make heads or tails of half of these quotes. I'm not sure what's going on. Rob has it right, Uncle Bruce. Carol, Matterport, December 30, 17s, 130 to 135 is a bid ask. I'm showing that too. I'm showing, I think I'm showing on my computer delayed quote, though. I think that's what the problem I've got here. I'm not getting the live quote. I'm showing 80 to 90 cents bid ask, which I think is pre-opening, was last night's close. Anyway, it's like reading someone's phone book, says Red Soul Cup. Smart Rent target price from Deutsche Bank is $16. Smart Rent target price. That we'll take that. A Smart Rent right now, 11.20, up 3 cents. ATIP up 7 to 388. Spire 4.39, up a dime. ME up 33 cents. Matterport up $1.49 to 27.52. Rocket Lab up 16. SoFi down 15, and GameStop down 8.45. I'm being bombarded with numbers. Uncle Bruce, don't skip me. Please don't skip me. It's all in good fun. Yeah, gasp. Okay. Except I just wanted to get a quote, an accurate quote of the December and January calls, and don't know who to believe. Flesh of it. I like refreshing and seeing the green show almost as much as like fresh brains. Rob, the December last sold at 135, volume 779, day high 139, low 60 cents. DM, Matterport call asks 30 for December. Matterport call asks 30 or 135. January 370, February 470. Okay, holy say Spire. Let's try to go up a buck. Okay. Very good, very good. Now, I have to mention this. I don't want to mention it, but I have to. I'm really not interested in having comments come through the comments section about stocks that I'm not talking about. If you have a favorite that you love and you want to promote it all the time on here, I really don't want you to do that. I'd prefer you don't do it. So I'm just going to kind of put it out there that if you find that you're put into a timeout because you are constantly updating us on something we're not following here, don't be surprised. I hope I'm not making you too angry with this, but I got to say, hey, we follow certain stocks here that we talk about all the time. And if you're constantly promoting what you like, you're defeating the purpose of what I'm about. And I'm just going to have to, find a way to pause you out. So it's just a heads up. Just saying. What can I tell you? Some people may be forgetting or they're just ignoring it. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, there you go. I say put in an ask for those $30 December Matterports, maybe $3. Why not? To be honest, I never hear before this channel from Deutsche Bank, and I live here in Deutschland. Ah, oh man. Let's see. All my stocks are up except those I want to be down due to the covered calls on Goldman Sachs and GameStop. Bruce, being a good shepherd, protecting us from bad actors, I know and I appreciate it. Uncle Bruce, I'm so glad you mentioned that about stocks that you and me, we don't follow. Wastes our time. Rob, Uncle Bruce is very rude. Be careful, folks. Laughing out loud, Rob. Maybe they should start their own channel. There we go. Hologram. No worries, Bruce. Pausing out my subscription. Goodbye. Well, like I say, hologram, you want to talk about Tootsie Roll all the time or whatever you want to talk about. We don't care. I don't care. We don't care. We don't really want to hear about it. If that's all you want to talk about, you're not talking to a crowd that wants to know. Like, we really don't want to know. Sorry, shouldn't come as a surprise. If you want to promote other stocks, start your own YouTube channel. There you go, says DQ. I forgot that I was supposed to sell Disney for ATIP Inspire. Credit Savage, Uncle Bruce laying down the law. Stop peddling your sheet stocks. Mickey, I'd really like to buy calls on crooked lampshades. Hologram, the spammer, maybe? Gonzo, what's the actual name of the strategy that we refer to as a poor man's covered call? It's a poor man covered call. Cheddar, let me see that Tootsie Roll. I just like the song. John, I agree with Uncle Bruce. I don't care. The saturation of those posts was a bit much. Jennifer, and it's all caps. I mean, geez. Gonzo Cruiser, long call, diagonal spread, maybe. Debit spread, maybe. A DM, Bruce, have you heard about this new stock? Its ticker is ENEO. ENR. I've heard it's making a comeback, and it's a short thing. Jennifer Smith, this. Oh, man. Thanks, says Gonzo. Splair, Uncle Bruce, sometimes it's really helpful if someone mentions something else, for example, the loop spring history or Hertz, last one I missed, but maybe it would make sense to use a symbol or Uncle Bruce doesn't read it. Yeah. Hologram, don't get mad. This is Uncle Bruce's channel. We have to follow his rules. Chris said Hologram was probably the same person that calling us shills. Neat. I hate Tootsie Rolls. Neat. The fun. 295 thumbs ups checking in. Great Uncle Bruce to 300 plus. Let's get him up there. DQ, infidelity, PMCC positions are debit spreads. Jake, Gonzo Cruiser, yeah, poor man cover calls are a type of diagonal spread. But on the other hand, I understand that we have a good amount of stuff and it needs to focus on them. Nicholas, hey, Uncle B and crew, do you all want tons of money? Because I got a horse that can't lose. Thumbs up number 300. Vash, Bruce, this isn't about stock, but did you hear about Disney Star Wars cruise, that 5,000 for two people where you are in a warehouse? Talk about out of touch. I'd heard about that. Look at what negativity did to the S&P. No. There you go. Rocket Lab up 2 cents. SoFi down 56. GameStop down 970. Matterport up 72 to 26.75. ME up 37. Spire up 4. ATIP up 6.5. Smart Rent down a penny. Sixtera down half a penny or down a nickel. Okay. IBM down 82. The Dow down 146. Microsoft down 11 cents. Apple up $1.12. Tesla down $28. Bed Bath Beyond up 28 cents. BlackBerry down 13. Royal Caribbean down 96 cents. The thing you guys don't know, just so you do know, those of you who are members who just watch me casually, those who love me, those who hate me, whatever. I just want you to know. I get about 40 emails a day from very dubious places. I get all kinds of scam emails all the time. I'm sure you do too. But I get emails that are targeted to me because of my YouTube channel. And I do get, on occasion, public companies that hire agencies to expose and promote their stock and their story. And I get emails from different agencies constantly, and I am constantly being asked or being invited to check out this company. It's This is what they're doing, and this is how great they're going to be, and blah blah blah. And I take a peek from time to time at some of these, and more often than not, I am being asked to look into companies' stocks that have had a terrible time the last 5 years. Company used to be company whatever, a $40 stock, ran down to zero, is now trading at a 68 cents, had been regurgitated into something else 2 years ago after it fell off the face of the earth. When it was regurgitated, it went from like $1 to $5, and now it's at 68 cents and falling off the face of the earth. And I'm being asked, hey, why don't you take a look at this company? There's some real potential here. And what they're looking for and hoping for is that I'll promote it. And they want me to promote to you a penny stock and tell you how great they are. And some are blatantly coming out saying, we will pay you in cash to do this. I did have an offer last year, or no, early this year, sorry, because I think how long this has been. I've only been on the air live with you guys since January. So back in about March, I received an offer for $40,000 to make a video, to make a promotional video for a publicly traded company and put it out there. And there's no way I was going to do that because the entity is not it's not viable. I mean, it's a company losing a ton of money and it has no it's a pure stock promotion. And any stock that you would have purchased, had you purchased any stock at all in this thing, you would have been buying from insiders who were trying to get out, trying to run for the hills because they were trying to recoup whatever money they could get out of this thing. And they were willing to pay tens of thousands of dollars to try to get millions of dollars of buying into their stock as they just wanted to cash in. I've been through this game. I've been through this as a broker. I was approached a million times as a stockbroker and as a branch manager and a VP for a brokerage firm with 25 salesmen sitting here. I would be approached by, very well-dressed, very professional-looking people that would want to talk to me about whatever, and then they would kind of bring up a stock that really has some potential in their eyes. And it was purely an opportunity to try to get to my brokers to promote the stock using my branch as a promotion tool. And I know I could have cut under the table deals back then where I could have demanded, 250,000 shares deposited into an account in Zurich, through a brokerage something offshore. And I could have had under the table cash payments. I could have made all kinds of sweet little deals, and then haul my brokers in for a meeting and introduce them to management of this publicly traded company and tell them how great they are and what their prospects are, and then out they go, and then some of them wouldn't do anything, and others would blindly just start recommending the stock to their clientele. And it would have been a blow up, within 6 months to a year later, it would have blown up into nothing. And, I would have long ago cashed in as the market went up and all that. Yeah. I mean, if I wanted to end my career prematurely, this is the way to do it. And of course I said, no, thank you. But even today, I get approached all the time. I get approached daily by promoters. Through again, there are public relation firms out there who are hired to do certain things, and they do certain things very, very legally and very professionally. There is nothing wrong with a public company trying to enhance their imagery. There's nothing wrong with that. You get a logo made, you get a website made, you hold show and tells, you do presentations, you do whatever you can to get your name out there. But you also need to get in front of investors' faces. You need to get in front of the eyeballs of investors, and hopefully they'll click and buy your stock. And if the shares can go from 50 cents to $1.50, the momentum might take it to $3. And maybe you can do some financing up there. You can convince some large players to put some money into the company, and you can fund your thing. And it's a hard life. It's a hard world. But there are other scenarios out there where they don't deserve the time of day because these entities are blown out of. They're blown out. The business plan they had blew up 2 years ago. They're on a skeletal crew because they've laid off all their staff. They have no way of reviving the business because they've lost all their talent because they can't pay them anymore. And what you have left now is a publicly traded shell that will stay public listed until you can't file the fees anymore to keep filing your financials or whatever lack thereof. I'm just not interested in that kind of stuff. As you are noticing, I like to talk to you about companies that I think have some upside potential and have a really unique business model and have some really cool abilities to grow their business and expand their business and are generally speaking in pretty good financial condition. And the 8 SPACs that I've brought to your attention that are no longer SPACs anymore are generally in very good financial shape. They've got cash on hand to do deals, and we are waiting for deals to continue to be coming out, satellites to be launched, satellites to be managed, 3D imaging to be done, server farms to be built out. We've got all kinds of stuff we're following here, physiotherapy centers to keep being built and what have you. And then there's GameStop. So I got my list, I got my faves, and none of these companies pay me to do any of this. They don't even talk to me. None of these public companies contact me at all. They are maybe aware of who I am, maybe not aware of who I am. I have not really reached out to them yet. I haven't tried to reach them and say, hey, would you like to be on my show? Would you like to talk to me? Because I think they're looking at my channel. It's so tiny. They're just going, waste of time talking to this moron. But they also don't want to be in a position where they could be quoted in a way that is misleading by a third party. And I totally understand that. They have their press releases. I read them from time to time to you, and the rest I leave into your hands. But yeah, I get approached all the time. So again, I try to keep this channel in our area where, I like to talk about the stocks I know I like, I'm aware of what these guys are doing. And that's consistency. And we are talking about the possibility of writing option contracts on some of these stocks and capital gaining on them and buying options in other cases. And I want to stay on top of these for you and not go off track. Okay. There was a short little rant right there, wasn't it? All righty. What can I say? Let's see. Bring us back to the stock talk, Bruce. What's going on with SoFi? At 7.6% short, interest enough to assume there's some significant shorting going on or just selling from no news. 7.6% is not even worthy discussing. It's just normal. Wouldn't be surprised to pay people to promote certain stocks to certain channels. Yeah, no kidding. And the Lamp is saying, he told me off on Tuesday and he's still not talking to me. He's not even acknowledging that I exist. The Lamp. What Lamp? There's no Lamp. Like Saudi Arabian emails? Yeah. The Lamp, he's not talking to you because you don't exist. There is no Lamp, Arkansas. RPM Pizza streamlined store renovation with Matterport and cuts project time in half. There you go. Uncle Bruce can't be bought. 40 grand to pimp some pink sheets. No, thank you. The only penny stocks we follow here are ATIP and Spire. Well, I didn't make them penny stocks, but hopefully they won't be penny stocks for long. So, Uncle Bruce, I sold a 140 put on GameStop yesterday. 302 premium. And I put a stink bin in for 21 this morning pre-market. And I got hit at market open. Thank you very much. 280 profit. Lovely. Poor man covered call is a long diagonal debit spread. There you go. Wow, the truth about how stocks can be manipulated. Uncle Bruce, I say take the money next time, but blink twice at the beginning of the video so we know it's bunk. Oh, man. Let's see. Yeah, Cheddar Bruce, after all that, do you think keeping your integrity was worth not being rich right now? Am I rich with 40 grand? Am I really rich with 40 grand? I don't think so. I'm not rich. Oh, man. Check out this new BBL, Bright Bulb LTD. Oh, man. What does Jen think about this? Oh, Jen and I both looked at this and went, oh, what a piece of crap this is. No thanks, man. No, thank you. I was trying to build up my channel at that time and, fighting off all kinds of apes who were attacking us. We're getting all kinds of hate mail because of the AMC thing. People were upset that I wasn't a promoter of AMC like I was perceived to be a promoter of GameStop, when I was saying all along, how can I be a promoter of GameStop? I don't own a single share of the stuff. I just talk about it. I like what they're doing. So yeah, I guess I'm promoting it, but I'm not promoting it by telling people you must buy this stuff. But on AMC, I was not saying you must buy this. No, no, no. I was telling people to avoid it because I wasn't a fan of the company from its fundamentals and its financials. So at that time, the channel was just having a whole war between those who liked my channel, didn't like my channel, liked what I was doing, not liked what I was doing, wondering why aren't you buying stock with us, and why it's a good thing you don't buy stock. I mean, I was getting it from all angles, and then I got this promotion thing, and I found that there were YouTubers that did do videos for these guys. There were they're out there. They were. I will not mention the stock. I will not mention the others. But yes, what can I say? RPM Pizza, the largest Domino Pizza franchisee, adopted Matterport to expedite the simultaneous redesign and renovation of 30 stores in just 6 months, a process that would typically take twice as long. It's interesting. Jeff, I love the ME chart more than the Aspire chart. There you go. Matterport 2681 up 78 cents. Rocket Lab up 11. SoFi down 32. GameStop 164 down 7. 721. ME up 44 cents to 882. Aspire up 11 to 440, and ATIP up 7.5, 388. Smart Rent up a nickel. 6 down 3 cents. The Dow is down 87 points. That's the best level of the day right now. We're down 10 on S&P. We're down 49 on NASDAQ. The first 37 minutes. Here we go. Is a little sell-off wave coming through in the first half hour to an hour, and then we go up? That might be what's happening. We'll see how this goes. By capturing digital twins of stores with Matterport, the company has cut the time to initiate these projects by 50% by enabling virtual site visits and collaboration in 3D. There you go. If he eats a bagel, it's a good recommendation. If he asks Jen for toasts, it's a chill session. The only thing you should be promoting is local bagel shops. There you go. Yeah. Obama Babe. Obama Babe. I'm asking him if he thinks it was worth it to keep his integrity to forego being rich. It's a hard knock life. SoFi order filled at 1638. Yummy. Let's see. ATIP is knocking at the $4 door. They're getting closer, aren't they? 387, getting closer. Rob, thanks, buddy, for this donation. It's not 40 grand, but thank you for your integrity, Uncle Bruce. Your honesty is one of the main reasons we stick around, keeping it real with Uncle B. Well, thank you for that. I do appreciate it. As you folks know, we do appreciate these donations, keeping us alive. I agree with Rob. I stick long-term to only the people that are honest for the world. Inderman, thank you for this $10 donation as well. Thank you. You guys are awesome. Short morning elf rent. We're going higher. SoFi can keep dropping. I'll be exercised tomorrow on my IBM, and it's all going into SoFi, says Michael. Rob, Uncle Bruce is still the only YouTube channel I've ever paid for, and his honesty and integrity is worth every penny in this world full of greed and snake oil salesmen. Bill was Uncle Bruce is the first and only person I've trusted enough regarding investing to actually make money moves based on the discussions. Thank you, everybody. Mostly because I watched enough to pick up what he's putting down. Let's see what else is going on here. GameStop improving, says nephew Nick. Let's go here. Just take the money and then don't promote it. What are they going to do? Call the cops? No, I don't want to. Don't want to play those games. No, thank you. I don't want to do that. I kind of have some integrity here. I thought Rocket Lab up 9 cents. SoFi 16.56 down 38 cents. GameStop 165.16 down 8.49. Matterport now at 26.68 up 64. ME up 36 cents to 8.74. Spire up a dime, and ATIP up 6. 40,000 taxable income doesn't make a dent in my student loans. There you go. You could take the money for promoting their, thing, ham it up like a Raid Shadow Legends ad, and we know it's garbage. Thanks, Ella. Yeah, okay. Uh, oh man, what else is going on here? 40 grand to ruin your reputation with the viewers and audience that you owe. Build a relationship based on trust, not worth the long run. I agree. I agree. I would rather I'd rather plug along here for the next 5 years and earn a consistent return doing this work rather than have a one shot and be off the air in months. Why would I bother with that? Yeah, and then forevermore be reminded by those out there who said, "Oh yeah, listen to this guy. He's the guy who did a video on this piece of crap." Do I need that? I need that now forever? I don't think so. I don't need that crap. Anyway, there you go. Okay. Let's see. Vilba says, DM, paying off my law school loans was a big ass milestone for me, especially considering I made nonprofit money. Most of the time I was paying it back. Right on, man. Let's see. Cheddar, because you know what being a stockbroker is like, that's hypothetical. What? Many people have gotten away with it. Let's see. Let's go. Thanks, Rob, aka Uncle Bruce. And let's go. Hey, Greggy, I love you too, buddy. And George, agree with all the sentiment here. Uncle Bruce is the realist. Brad, Uncle Bruce, I bought a class in July, and I would like to take it again, but I can't find the link. Do you know where I might be able to find it? So, Brad, send me a private email and just say, "Hey, Bruce, how you doing? I bought class number so and so back in July on with PayPal. Could you send me the link again?" And then I'll just send you the link, and you'll be good to go. Let's see. Should we roll over our January calls if they're out of the money? Are you long calls? Is that the deal? Your long calls, and you want to roll over long calls into? You could look into that if you feel it's financially worth it. It depends how far out of the money you are, obviously. We're down 68 on the Dow. That's the high of the day. We're at down 12 on S&P. We're down 74 on NASDAQ. The Dow's only down 0.18 of a percentage point now. Oil still down 70 cents a barrel. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Let's see. What are the interest rates doing? They're talking about interest rates right now. The 10-year note right now, 148.6 for the U.S. 10-year note, under the 152 level just earlier today. So the 10-year is dropping. Futures interest rates are slipping. Okay. Good morning. Hello, everybody. God body. 40 grand could build you a nice lamp for that room. What room? I'm in Creston, and there's a green screen behind me that makes it pretend I'm somewhere else. And I don't own anything anyway. I'm a nomad, so why would I need a lamp? So, Uncle Bruce, because of Mike's comment, isn't it possible to take the money, make a video, mention it, to take it with a grain of salt? Again, you don't want to mess with the wrong people. You got to be, someone drops a bit of coin on you, and then you upset them. You don't want to start a car in a dark parking lot with that kind of thing. I mean, it doesn't matter who it is. You just don't want to be playing games like that. You just don't. I'd agree, Uncle Bruce. I want you precise because I know you have principles. I wouldn't trust money decisions with someone I couldn't trust. There you go. I appreciate that.
Does that make me a vice principal?
A vice principal? What do you mean?
If you're the principal, I'm the vice principal.
The vice principal
in charge of discipline.
I was just gonna say, in charge of discipline. Yeah, whack. You lied to me, bonk.
You're not my cousin.
Where's that frying pan? You lied to me. How you doing, Jen?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I was just telling the story about back, I think it was in February or March. Okay. You may recall this, where I got an email one day, and I was being offered $40,000 to promote public company
Yes,
stock.
yes, that's right.
And I looked up the company and everything, and I researched it, and I went, "Oh my god!
There's
Oh
a
my!"
reason they have to offer people
There's a
money
reason
to
they're
talk about their
offering
stuff.
social people like me all this kind of money to promote their stock. There's a good reason. It's
Yeah.
a long haul,
And it has
and
nothing to do with the goodness of their feelings for their shareholders.
no, no, no,
It has everything to do with their feelings for the goodness of particular shareholders.
of their stock,
Yeah,
the stock that they own, they're trying to
yeah,
unload through third parties all over the place. Oh, I can imagine I was just imagining the web of accounts opened all over
oh
the
God,
place that will feed stock into a market as buyers come into the market. And it looks like normal trading and everything's great and everything, but oh, deep down it's ugly.
yeah,
God, I've been exposed to that. That was the shocking thing for me when I became a stockbroker back in 78, well, 79, starting with the securities course of 78, but by 79, 80, I had learned a whole lot about the backdoor dealings that were going on way back when. And
bucketing, kiting,
oh,
parking.
oh God, yeah, oh, the games and the shenanigans that would go on a constant basis. And then and basically what I learned was what's known as due diligence. I learned the due diligence aspect of the brokerage business. And the greatest thing that happened to
That's the
me,
R&R exam.
yeah, the greatest thing that happened to me was when I became a partner in a two-man brokerage firm. I became a partner in a small little brokerage company, and that was the greatest university education of all time for me. To now, I now had to learn how we not only bought stock, how we sold stock, how we settled trades as a brokerage firm, as a little office, because we had to do it all. We did everything in our little two-man operation, which eventually became a 10-man operation by the time I left it. And I learned all the aspects of clearing and trading,
Yeah.
and
Oh yeah.
how I was quickly educated by my
Yeah.
partner about all the scams going on out there. And oh, did that pay
Feet
me
on the
back?
ground university.
Oh man, yeah, that paid me back in spades forever after that. And yeah, when I
Yeah.
became branch manager at age 25, 26, um, you know, I would be talking to my operations manager about all the trading that we're doing in the house with all our salespeople, and he and I would go over the scams that were going on,
Well, they were so dumb.
and then I
They
would see
they
something.
think you wouldn't see it.
Oh yeah, and I'd see one of my brokers put in orders on a certain stock, and I would call my floor trader and ask him some questions about what do you think's going on, and he would give me his impressions. And then I would talk to people in the cage. I would then talk to Toronto and talk to people in the cage there about the back office,
Yeah. What do
basically,
you think they're doing?
about this and that. And then and then I would haul the salesman in and say, "Listen, I think you may want to stop buying stock in this company's shares." He'd be going, "Why? It's going higher. It's great." And then we'd go over the whole what's really going on and what we're
Yeah.
understanding is going on and what trading is going on elsewhere. And he would quickly realize that he was just a cog in an entire promotional
Yeah.
scam that was in the middle that was going on, and he had an opportunity to get his clients out of this stock quickly to limit damage to
Mm-hmm.
nothing. And he'd do it, and he'd be leery, but he'd do it. And then over the next days, I'd be talking to him every day, multiple times, and we'd be saying, "Here's what's happening. Here's what's going on. Don't be surprised if this happens. Don't be surprised if that happens. Don't be surprised if you hear a press release coming out or
Yes.
a promotional meeting or something." And then he'd say, "Yeah, that's what I heard. I just heard that from somebody called me about it." And he'd now be searching for the due diligence, and he'd be saying to me, "Oh yeah, this thing's a scam, Mister Frummert. You're right." And he would realize that one of his clients had been sucked in by a promoter at a
Mm-hmm.
bar somewhere
Yeah.
to buy a bunch of stock on an oil and gas deal that was supposed to be the greatest thing since Exxon, whatever. And he called the broker to place orders, and then got friends of his to buy stock with him because the promoter was really working this one guy. And
Yeah.
I would work with the broker to talk to that client and get him out of this stuff, get him out of there, educate this client as to what's happening. And sometimes it would work, and sometimes it wouldn't. I had salesmen
Hmm.
who defied their manager and said, "No, no, 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 we're
You're
all right.
wrong. You're
We're
fine.
you know what you're talking about." And then
I know these guys personally.
yeah, these guys never would never bounce a check on us. They're great, great, great. And then about a month later, problems. Right around the third week of the month, we'd
Yeah.
have a big problem because in the third week of the month,
Yeah, to settle.
you had to settle up on all your trades for month end prints because you had a
Hmm.
1 week settlement in those days.
Hmm.
And all of a sudden, the money just wasn't there to settle up. And then excuses would come in.
And you couldn't get a hold of your guys.
Couldn't get a hold of your favorite,
Yeah.
your number one guy that knew everything about the stock. You couldn't reach the guy for some reason. He wouldn't call you back, or he'd only have a minute to talk to you. And I'm just going to a meeting. I'll call you back in 15 minutes. And then he wouldn't hear from him for the rest of the day. And then you're supposed to get a check for like $15,000 to settle up, and a check for 5 grand would show up, and you deposit that, and 3 days later it would bounce. It
Hmm.
wasn't any good, and oh, the troubles.
The games.
Yeah, and then Toronto head office would call up and say, "What are you guys doing about that?" And
Yeah.
Bruce, the heavy, the bad guy, Bruce. It's all my fault because I told this guy a month ago it was a bag of crap you were involved with, and now I'm gonna basically bring down the hammer from head office for you that I warned you about that you didn't believe was true. And yes, your favorite client is a scumbag and is a promoter, is
Of
a guy
course.
sucked in by a promoter, or is a junior promoter under a senior promoter and didn't know it. He thought he was a PR guy and he thought he was a public relations specialist. No, you're a stock promoter in a nice suit. You have no idea. You've been sucked along for months and months by this guy, and the master plan was one day we're going to start promoting company blah, and we're going to run the stock like crazy. And he had no idea that he was a promoter of a stock that for sinister means. And by the time the whole thing blew up, even the promoter couldn't find his boss, the ultimate promoter. He left town. He was gone. He'd cashed in. He's on holidays in Cabo. He'll be back in 2 weeks. He's not in Cabo. He's in the UK somewhere. He's gone. He's out of town. He blew town with $1 million and shifted that money into offshore accounts like you can't believe, and you can't trace it. You can't find him. And he was only in your town for like a year and set you up and took you for everything you had and all your contacts. And now you have no reputation but a bad one. And the mystery promoter cannot be found anywhere. Nobody knows where that guy is because he's set up shop now in Spain. He's promoting over there.
Go
Oh,
watch
yeah.
Wolf of Wall
Go
Street.
watch Wolf of Wall Street.
See how a bucket shop works.
Yep. And I was the bad guy because I stopped the party, and it was me that was the
We
bad
had
guy.
a clean branch.
We sure did. We sure tried hard to run a clean. But I had to say goodbye to stockbrokers. There were about 5 of them in my branch that
Hmm.
could not be brought back to the line of normalcy. And we had to let them go. We just had to let them go. So they went, they left with all their clients or their favorites. All the clients they had that didn't want to buy those stocks, we hung on to those guys, and we let these guys go. And we'd find out 3 months later, 6 months later, a year later, we'd hear the word that, oh, you remember that stock that they were, yeah, 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 yeah. The insiders have been arrested, or
Yeah.
they're being charged on the Securities Act, or that stock used to be 250 shares, now 20 cents a share, and nobody wants it.
Yeah. How
Yep.
much do you want?
How much of that one you want? And my floor trader would call me up and say, "You remember that deal that was being promoted at 240 a share, and there were all kinds of suspicious. Yeah, 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 yeah. That thing is now 20 cents offered, no bidders,
No bid.
no bid anywhere. And the only buying you can do on that stock through this house, this house, this house, and this house, cash up front, and then you could buy the stock. That's the only
Yeah.
way we'll let you buy it because this stock is a bag of
Hmm.
snakes." Yeah, and we let these guys go months ago, and now they're not in the business anymore. One guy is selling vacuum cleaners. Another guy is a used car salesman at such and because they can't get a job in the business. No firm will take them. You
Yeah.
guys are bad news.
It's a small
It's a
industry.
small town. We know everybody. We know everything, and eventually we dig it up. But that was the '80s. That was the '80s, old school. Now it's all so sophisticated.
When you
Oh, it's
knew
just so
everybody and
sophisticated.
yeah.
Yeah. But guys like me, we're disappearing off the face of the earth because of age. And you folks out there are at the mercy of promoters.
Did you tell him
That's
how we
unbelievable.
used to have board markers?
Well, in the early
You won't believe
days, yeah, in the early
it. You're
days,
going to talk, and I'm going to go get your bagel. What kind would you like?
oh, we still have a sesame bagel. I
Yeah,
think I'll
yeah.
have grape jelly today.
Okay.
Sure,
Yeah.
thank you, ma'am.
Talk about, back in the Stone Age, how we did it.
Well, I have told this before, but yeah, if you ever look at old photos of stock exchanges, and I'm talking about the early 1900s up to what the 1940s, there used to be chalkboards all around the walls of a brokerage of a trading floor, and you'd have like three walls, chalkboard, 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 and in front of these chalkboards would be 10 feet high, and in front of the chalkboards would be these guys with little step ladders and uh, there would be lines on all the chalkboards of all the stocks trading alphabetically from A to Z, and you'd have these board marker guys standing there writing on writing the quotes, and the quotes would change when a floor trader would yell out. So IBM might be $20 bid, 20 and an eighth offered, and you'd have a floor trader yell out, bought 2,000 IBM, 20 and an eighth, and or buy 2,000 IBM at 20 and an eighth, and there'd be six traders yelling back at him, sold 200, 100, 300, 500. And he'd write these tickets. I bought 200 from that guy, I bought 300 from that guy. And the board marker now would be yelled at by the sellers. 52 off, 52 off IBM at 20 and eighth. And so the board marker would take number 52 off, and then 38 off, 20 and the eighth. He'd take number 18 off. He'd take all the brokerage firms off. Next thing you know, there's no stock for sale at 20 and eighth. The market is 20 to 20 and a quarter. And so he'd have to take the 20 and eighth price off with his eraser and write down 20 and a quarter, and all the brokers selling at 20 and a quarter. Now the market's 20 to 20 and a quarter. And another yell would come out, sold 1,000 IBM at 20. And five guys would yell out, got 2,000, got 500, got 50. Well, there'd be 5,000 there'd be 5,000 available if you want to sell to the market. They want 5,000. You only have 1,000 available, and now you'd piece it off 200 a guy, and all yelled out in person, all written in tickets, and then they'd yell at the board market to adjust the markets. That was the old days, and then they went into magic marker world, and then it went to the computer. Unbelievable how it changed. Oh my God. Oh, those old days. Anyway, there you go. Let's see. Uncle Bruce, go, go, go. Thank you for giving me thumbs ups today. Uncle Bruce, SPACs are under intense scrutiny from feds. So IMH, I think the Amex Global Business Travel has an excellent chance of success. Yeah, I'm not recommending any new SPACs to you guys right now. You've probably figured that out right now. Sounds good. Thanks, Uncle Bruce. Jonathan, thank you for this donation. Me and my girlfriend started watching you when you were first started streaming here last year, Bruce. I got into some Matterport and SoFi on recommendations from you, among other great wins. Thank you for the value you provide to us. You are welcome, and thank you for these donations. You guys are awesome. Mallow Shark, thumbs ups for Bruce. Thumbs ups for Bruce. Thank you, guys. Spire popped up to 440 again. The volume is tiny, 63,000. We're at 439, up a dime. ATIP 386, up 5.5 cents. ME up 35 to 873. Matterport up 75 cents to 26.78. GameStop 163.40 down $10. SoFi down 60 cents to 16.34. Rocket Lab down 16 cents to 12.78. The Dow down 83. S&P down 19. Nasdaq down 113. Oil down 53 cents. That's the deal. That's where we're at right now. Watching the markets. Clap, clap, clap. Thank you, everybody. Let's see. Bobby, I'm still unable to wrap my head around the long call on a poor man covered call. If it goes out of the money, why is it no longer good to write against? I ask with ATIP or ME calls I have purchased in mine. Yeah, you cannot. This strategy is really for senior stock, not for penny stock at all. Anything under $20, you really don't want to bother looking into it. You just don't. But it is possible, in theory, with ME. Yeah, you could be holding $5 covered calls Or you could be old. Sorry, you could be a holder of $5 call options on ME. Yeah, you could be, and you could then write $10 calls against it. Yes, and the reason is that if you get exercised at 10, you can exercise at 5 and deliver the stock. That's the theory behind it all. And of course, if you get exercised and you exercise here, the broker will do this for you, and then you'll just sell the stock into the market to pay for it all, and you'll be covered. Um, uh, if if call options that you bought, in the money call options that you bought, are now not in the money anymore because the stock drops below the strike price, you don't have anything to exercise with anymore that's in the money. You're out of the money now. You're out of the gig. You can't deliver paper cheaper than the market is trading at because you don't have it. The broker won't let you now write call options against an out of the money call option. And that's why you buy deep in the money contracts and monitor the performance of those contracts and the stock at all times, as will the broker through their computers. And that's how you do not write options on out of the money contracts against, options against those. So if you're going to do it on Goldman Sachs or on Apple or on Microsoft, you want to buy contracts that are 20, 30% in the money or more. If you can afford it, and then write options against those, and there you have there you have what you need to cover your position. Uncle Bruce, your integrity just went out with the lamp. Laughing out loud. I love picking up GameStop at this low 160 support line, says Brad. 163.51. Plain English and truth according to how Uncle Bruce sees the world. Member for life. Thank you, Nelson. Thank you. Trish the Dish Spire just had some news coming out. Jake, Bruce likes his kneecaps. Jen's awake. The bagel. Good morning, Jen. You're amongst friends when they tell you to take the money, but wink and blink when you promote the scam. Good morning, Jen. And Bruce, we trust. Paddling Jen Frommer. Good morning, Jen. Uncle Bruce, I don't believe you, but I do trust you. What lamp? What room? Where am I? Give me bagels. Spire working with Virgin Oregon Orbit. We've been talking about this here for a while. Good friends shouldn't help you sabotage your own reputation in the future. Drug hustlers do that. Splair, Jake, yeah, I understand that, but kneecaps for 40 grand. I thought companies are more dangerous near 100,000. Not so cheap. Is anyone buying up Spire? Spire depends how desperate the people are giving you the money are, I guess. Reputation is worth more than 40 grand. Let's see. Let's go. Bruce, were you the branch manager or assistant to the branch manager? I at the very beginning, when I was a partner in a very small firm, I was the number 2 guy in the company. And then when we became a 10-man firm, I was kind of like one of the top 3 or 4 of the thing. But when I left that firm, I ended up going to another company that I ended up joining, and I joined them first as a stockbroker / desk trader. I did both jobs. And then I left the desk trading position and just became a broker only. Then I left that firm and went to another company as a broker only. And then I heard about a year and a half later, that the firm I had left, the manager there was about to be fired. We heard the rumor that this guy wasn't going to be around much longer as manager because the firm had once had 10 salesmen. Now they were down to 3 salesmen. I had left and others had left. We were all frustrated with this guy. And the folks in Toronto were looking now for a candidate to put into that office and turn it around, get it going again. And so I heard the word that this guy's days might be numbered. And I put a call into the VP in Toronto on a Sunday or a Saturday, I guess it was, and reached him at his house. And we had a chat. And I said, look, if it's true that there's a chance you're thinking of replacing so-and-so, I have mentioned it before, and I'm mentioning it again. I would like that job. I would be willing to become the manager. Thank you, Jen, so much.
You want to be the manager of what?
The firm, the brokerage firm, when I called
yes,
JP in Toronto.
No, I thought you
No
wanted
names.
to become a manager right now.
No. So I told Jen, I said, I'm going to call him at home, this VP, and I'm going to put my hat into the ring if they're seriously thinking. And he said, well, it just so happens I'm going to be out there in Calgary on Tuesday. Why don't you come and see me at my hotel before the market opens, and we'll have a chat. So I went and visited him the Tuesday morning. We were there at 6 in the morning. The market opened at 7:30 in those days, Calgary time. And he said, "What do you have? What would be your vision? What would you do with the branch if it was in your hands?" Well, because I had worked in the company before, I knew the company philosophy, and I knew the management in Toronto. I knew their philosophy. I knew what worked in Calgary, in the oil patch town that I was in, and so I gave him my vision of what I wanted. And my number one vision was compliance. Cleaning out the promoters and making sure that the accounts we had were legit, that the brokers we had wanted to deal with legitimate customers and not stock promoters. Music to the ears of Toronto, and I got the job offered to me the next day, and it was no surprise that I was going to get the job. And I left the firm I was with that week and joined the group in Toronto. Came back the next week, and I was branch manager and vice president for the province of Alberta. I held the license for the firm, and that meant I was the guy on behalf of that company. Any trades we had to settle there, especially with the Alberta government and the pension funds we were dealing with, I would now be the guy signing checks for up to 10 million bucks a pop. So my operations manager would come in every morning and say, "I got some checks for you to sign." "Oh, okay, what do we got here?" "Oh, 800,000 chump change." "How much is this one?" 2.2 million. "Oh, that's pretty good. I like signing checks with 2.2 million on. Too bad it didn't have my name on it." But now I was the branch manager, and that's when I began to hire people, and eventually had 25 stockbrokers and 15 support staff. Ran a branch of 40 at age 26. And that was work. I'll tell you. Oh man, that was work. Anyway, that was then, and this is now. Welcome, 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 welcome everybody. Let's see. Yeah, I worked in a brokerage firm many years ago, and I have to say it was more like Wolf on Wall Street. Bag o' snakes, says Jeff. And let's see. Any late to the show? Any idea where GameStop's going? We're at 162, down 11. We're going lower before we go higher. Is that the answer? I don't know what else to tell you. This is what's happening. Why isn't Rocket Lab moving? Lots of news, but no action on the stock. Down 21 cents. You know, to me, it should be 22, not 12. But I can't tell you why it is here. I can't tell you it shouldn't be. I can tell you that much. Board markers must have new nerves of steel. Oh, God. If you were any good at it, if you were a good board marker and you could handle the abuse that you got from the floor, you became a member of the floor. A lot of board markers started out there and ended up being runners and then assistant traders and then floor traders. And then they were heaping the abuse at these guys. And if you were any good as a floor trader, you could make some really good money. Yeah, Bruce, you make me feel so old, laugh out loud. My brother was one of the last of the chalk boys at the VSE in 1975. Oh, man. The Vancouver Stock Exchange, the old, the old market. Yeah, board markers. Oh, my, when I became branch manager, I had a floor trader. And the floor trader was okay, but not that great. And I wanted another guy to be my floor trader. And he knew it. He knew I wanted him. And we got together privately. And we made a deal to get him to come on over to our house. And he wasn't happy where he was. And he wanted to do certain kinds of things with the firm, as did I. I wanted to expand our trading. And I wanted to trade for other firms as well as our own firm because that would make us extra money and help pay for this membership of the floor. And so I got him. I stole him from another firm, and then we started to pick up accounts. and we became a bigger player on that floor. And that gave us insight into a lot of trading going on from Toronto, from Montreal, from New York. We expanded out our floor so that we eventually had a phone assistant to handle the calls, and that gave me an ear and a viewpoint into what others were thinking about some of the stocks we were following. It was invaluable. The good old days. Mm. Lorraine, I am at the eye doctor. I just purchased 70 GameStop shares, totaling 100. I'm tired of you talking about GameStop, and I'm on the bandwagon. I'm in. I'm in with you, baby. I think we all picked you because we could see you had the integrity because we recognize ourselves. Thank you, Uncle Bruce. Thank you, KW. Kind words. Can someone explain that lamp thing? What lamp? Duncan, there's no lamp here. If you think you're seeing a lamp, you might want to check with your doctor on the stimulants you're taking right now because there's no lamp here. There's nothing going on. Regarding kneecaps, and Matthew's struggling these days. Tiff, can we get a "There's No Lamp" T-shirt? I would buy one of those. I know there's one of those things where we don't know for sure, but that $100 million from Exactor is coming in soon. Hey, AB, it's a free country, man. If you sell your stock and you take a bunch of cash for it, you can do whatever you want with that stock. I believe that stock will come into this money will come into this stock. I think Spire is going to go higher. We're at 433 right now. It's terribly low right now. I'd like it to be 1433 right now, this second, but my wish is not being granted. I'm going to have to wait this thing out, but I will because this company is a winner and it will be perceived as such by the street bit by bit by bit, but it is frustrating being down here. I will admit that. Hmm. Is there a Bruce Reddit Discord page for members to talk stock picks? I don't even know. Resistance is futile. You must comply. Bruce, how long was your hair when you first became branch manager? Nice and short, man. Nice and short. How's that bagel tasting? It's good. How accurate was The Wolf of Wall Street? Was it cocaine, prostitutes, corruption galore like they portrayed in the movie? Was it just like that? The Wolf of Wall Street was a pretty over-the-top show with all kinds of goings on. But I will say this. The 1970s and 80s, the late 70s and the early 80s, kind of that window of time. The world was a different place than it is now, but it was also very similar to what it is now. And we felt in 1970s that we were in the new world. We were in the cutting edge of the world going forward. Guys from the 50s were old school antiques. The guys from the 30s were from a world we couldn't recognize anymore. Whatever they were, whether they were relatives, friends, associates, business partners, whatever. I mean, in the 70s we had color TV. In the 50s you had black and white. In the 70s we were landing men on the moon. In the 50s we hadn't even launched satellites yet. So, there were people that I knew, that I was aware of in my town of Calgary, Alberta, population of 600,000 people back in that time. Now Calgary's 1.5 million. And yeah, there were people who were subsisting and surviving and depending on stimulants to be able to get up in the morning or go to sleep at night or whatever. And of course, we saw it everywhere. We watched Elvis take himself out way too soon. We watched rock stars die at age 27 again and again and again. And I knew people in the real estate world, in the accounting world, in the oil and gas business, the investment business, anything that were abusing themselves at every turn. And my father had would indicate to me when I was a young lad. He would say, "Well, so and so just drank themselves to death," and I go, "What does that mean? How do you do what? How does that work?" And as I got older, I saw it in real life. And thankfully, I was brought up by parents who helped keep me on the straight and narrow. And being a musician on stage for me was the greatest education a guy could ever have, because playing this oompapa music I used to play on weekends, I would watch people at 8 in the evening be just wonderful social creatures, and by midnight turn into animals. The alcohol would just change people so much in many ways. Some would just fall asleep, some would become lovey-dovey, and some would become violent. You had no idea what you're going to get, like a box of chocolates. And being on stage, you had to be sober. If you're going to keep playing the music with any quality and consistency, you couldn't be hammered. The bands where they were getting hammered didn't get return gigs. Bands like ours, where we had a semblance of decency and order, we got gigs all the time. So that was the greatest education for me, and I used that going forward into the investment business. And so the Wolf of Wall Street, yeah, sure. I remember brokerage firms where you had. I remember one firm I was at. There were 50 of us, 50 salesmen, 50 in one office, and you know, um, I could look around the room and I could tell you who the alcoholic was. I could tell you who was the guy who was on cocaine. I could tell you the people who partied badly on weekends and just came in on Monday like wrecks. I could show you those who wouldn't touch a drop, and I could show you those who were exercise buffs and really took care of themselves, and then on and on and on. I mean, it was all kinds of people with all kinds of habits, and some you agreed with and some you didn't. And that was then, and this is now. And guess what? The world is exactly the same now. It's exactly the same. There are people who are on stimulants for whatever ails them and whatever they need stimulants for to this very day in all industries and occupations, be it political, be it business, be it industrial, be it what have you. And the world hasn't changed a bit. The stimulants are still out there, and they're still available, or they're legal or illegal. They're still there, and there are those who abuse them, and we lose people from time to time from them, and off you go. It's no different. And there are some incredibly successful people who are incredibly surviving being addicted to this stuff. It's incredible. I mean, functioning alcoholics, we used to call alcoholics, functioning alcoholics, functioning drug users. It's incredible. I mean, but eventually it catches up with them all. Eventually it all does. You see someone who's in their mid 40s and you cannot believe that they're what? They're 43 years old. Are you that person isn't 43 years old? There's no way that person's 43 years old. Or you meet someone who's 48 and they've been out of the business for 3 years because they're a wreck. They're just a wreck and can't do it anymore. It's never ends. It just never ends. So some of it existed. Some of it exists to this very day. This type of behavior still exists today, and it's never going to end. And there you go. Anyway, there you go. Securities is 80 securities businesses. Doesn't feel that long ago when the top 3 software companies to buy were Microsoft, Lotus 123, Ashton Tate Database. Apple was going broke by the 90s. Yeah, there you go. Let's go. So, Bruce, when these stocks do all finally get to the 50 range, will the super stickers be into $25 and $50 increments? I have no idea. I'm going to need some pictures of that short hair. Also, did you ever sport a mustache? How long did Jen live? No, no, never did a mustache. No stashes and no sideburns. No, the hair is so thin, has always been so. There's nothing that, no, the forest could never be grown out. Uncle Bruce July ME strike 750 options for 250. What do you think? No, not 750s. Sorry, MEs. Hang on. ME, yeah. You're fine. 750s. You're fine. I was thinking of something else. Yeah, you're good. What? Will? Yeah, there's Reddit. Stummers Bruce posted. Larry posted the link to the Discord there last week. Yeah, there is a Stock Markets with Bruce Reddit page. That's true. Coyote Wolf of Wall Street wasn't even accurate in its own story. They were scamming people, pushing bad stocks to collect their commission. That's how they got rich. Scam people, not some market experts. Yeah, I don't think you want to be taking any stimulants to go to sleep at night. I got to see that change with my parents as a kid, and they owned a bar, so I was watching adults go down that path since I was a baby. Yeah, Adderall is the new cocaine. Sad watching all these kids requiring stimulants. Let's see. Adderall isn't cocaine. It's a legitimate medication that helps people with ADHD cope and function. Again, I'm not here to talk about pharmaceuticals. Hey, Uncle B, for a while now, I've been noticing that the SoFi chart often matches GameStop and AMC. You're crazy. You're crazy. Emmy is a good Uncle Bruce rant. Emmy is a good rant. See a person I went to high school with got into meth and now looks like he's 70s in the way he walks around. Oh boy, hold my beer. Oh wait, coffee. I have a dish Adderall prescription. Again, I don't want to talk stimulants. I just don't want to go there. Anyway, thank you everybody for being here. I'm having a bagel. Mm, mm, mm. Jen is working the bagel today. Oh boy. We're down 49 on the Dow. Best level of the day. We're down 17 on S&P, down 118 on NASDAQ. There you go. It's a nothing burger day. GameStop 163.50 down 10. Low of the day 161.51. 1.68 million. A little bit of volume because of the drop in the price. Matterport only up 18 cents. ME up 15. Rocket Lab down a quarter. SoFi down 67. Spire up 5.5 cents. ATIP down a nickel. Smart Rent down 6. Cyxtera up 9. I'm noticing Boeing stock falls, it says. As 787 delays prompt American Airlines to cut some flights. I'm wondering, Boeing has had problems with 787s now for over a year. How serious are these problems? What's this all about? These guys are, they've been building the 787 for over a decade now. 15 years? I mean, a long time. They've been building 787s a while. What's with American Airlines having to cut flights? I was under the impression that they had a lot of planes parked in the desert. But I guess the planes are parking in the desert are the short range narrow bodies, and that these wide bodies are up and running or what have you. It is kind of weird to see that. But yeah, that's what's going on. What else is going on? Article. I missed the entire show again this morning for another training. Did I miss anything worthwhile? I don't know. Did he miss anything worthwhile? I'm not sure if he's missed anything worthwhile. It's a 0.12% drop on the Dow, 1/8 of 1%. Not much going on there. Mm. Mm. What's up with GameStop? The market feels so stagnant today. Rocket Lab down 21 to 1273. SoFi down 67 to 1627. GameStop down $10, 163.65. Matterport still up 28 cents. ME up 13. Spire up 8. ATIP down 4.5. Mixed market. Mixed. Well, Nick, making some modest profits on SoFi. You know anything about this Snowflake? I don't. I really don't. I don't follow this company much. Let's talk GameStop. There's some report from the Fed coming out tomorrow night? Uh, Lots of investors waiting for that drop to make a move. I don't know. We're going to get inflation numbers tomorrow. That we're going to get. But I don't expect it to affect the market at all. I just don't. Okay. What are you calling wide? What are you calling wide body? Or who are you calling wide body? You. GameStop covered calls. Mitchell Duncan. Yeah, American Airlines is having some problems. We miss our flight and wait for the next one. GameStop covered calls. Larry, Uncle Bruce, you should try a Hagelschlag bagel, basically a buttered bagel topped with Dutch chocolate sprinkles. Oh my god! Oh, get triple X size that clothing now. This is interesting here. Bruce, I'm out here in the Pacific Northwest. I have a buddy on the 787 line. They cannot keep folks working. And the unions are giving the company grief about vaccines and rumors again of layoffs. So issues at the plant, issues. Thank you. Wow. Nephew, did you not write any GameStop covered calls? Little Birdie says, last one was 190. Bobby, oh, good news, of course. I got your merch yesterday, getting wrapped up under the tree tonight. Oh, way to go, guys! You're buying merchandise for the Christmas. Every stock could go up about $5. That would be great. I find it hard to believe that Noto is okay with prices down here. Would be nice if he made a solid interview. A bank charter 50% increase would be better than $25 instead of 16. I agree. Well, I'd be much happier at 25. Sure. The Dow is down 32, the high of the day. Markets are coming up, folks. You might not believe it. A very crunchy bagel today. Gotta tell you. Oh, man. Okay. Thanks, Laura. You just given me diabetes. Larry, you just inspired me to stock up on some Nutella. Hector, Hagelschlag is a term that drips chocolate. Jake, Larry Titus, Hagelschlag is lecker. Yeah, it's very tasty. Bertie, Scott, Gregory, we've been told by the PM in the UK to work from home if possible from Monday. Don't go out. Jake, it's normally on a piece of bread here since they really don't do bagels though. Article, CPI data comes out tomorrow, not expecting a positive reaction. Larry, Scott Brewer, I miss Amsterdam so much. Red Solo Cup. I think my portfolio is over diversified. I've thought of consolidating into a couple of heavy positions to sell covered calls on instead, based on Uncle Bruce's advice. But the tax hit is a big setback. Decisions. Larry, Jack F. Smiling. Well, market is down only 30 points now. Oil 71.65. We're talking about how oil is retreating from a 2-week high lately. That's true. It's had 2 weeks of upward movement after crashing for a month from the 90s to the 60s. Sure, a little recovery, but not great. And stock wise, GameStop is down 1086 to 162.79. Matterport's holding on to an 18-cent gain. ME up 14 cents. Spire at 440, up 11. That's holding quite nicely, actually. The high of the day at 440 and a half. This is right at the high of the day for Spire. 119,000 volume. Nothing is for sale on Spire. Any kind of a buy wave coming in here will pop this thing, and just they make announcements, but the market doesn't jump in to buy yet. I don't know why not. Could it be that all we need, something as simple where a hedge fund manager is interviewed on CNBC and they talk about stocks they like and the economy, and then he mentions casually, I like this Spire stock. I just like this thing. They are handling all these satellites, all the data up there. These guys are going to be a big company. I mean, watch out. That's all it would take. I don't know if, when, or why, but the stock's at 440, up 11 cents. That's all I can say. ATIP down 0.8 of a penny, 0.8 of a penny, 380.2. Smart Rent down 2 cents. Sextera up 9 to 10.43. All-time high in Sextera, $12. AMC is down 50 cents at 31.85. Robinhood down 96. Manic is down 2.14. Home Depot up 33 cents. IBM up 2 cents. The Dow now down only 24 or so. It looks like it's around that. Was down 24. That was the best level of the day. Microsoft down $1. Apple up 82. Tesla down 36 bucks to 1,032. Bed Bath Beyond up 50 cents. BlackBerry down 15. Royal Caribbean down $1. Norwegian down 45 cents. Carnival down 42 cents. Goldman down 38 cents. Amazon down 21 bucks. Facebook up $2. Alphabet down $8. Costco down $1.35. Walmart up 30 cents. Cisco up 50 cents to 57.52. It's a nothing day. We really don't have a massive amount of direction today. Because we had a couple of good days early this week, and that's it. Boeing and Intel remain the laggards as intraday Dow declines ease, but we're only down 32 points. This is a nothing burger, 0.09 of a percentage point. It's a nothing burger. There's nothing to complain about, but nothing to get excited about either, isn't it? Oh boy. Yeah. What else is going on here? Uncle Bruce, I mentioned NU earlier today, not as a promotion, but only because it's part of SoFi's Invest's most recent early IPO offering. It also, FinTech, and may offer a sympathy effect to SoFi today. I hear you there. Let's see. Uncle Bruce, seems like we've been getting more green days on Spire lately. Seems a little more stable. Do you foresee it to continue in this direction? I was just talking about it a minute ago. It's just, it's 1 second away from a breakout. Green on Spire needs awareness and volume. We've seen it move dollars on low volume in the past. GameStop calls I wrote for this Friday for a bit over 1,200 each yesterday are worth $93 right now. Thank you, GameStop. Buy back now or just let them run out. Buy them back. Just buy them back and stop it right now. Get it back now. End it. Jeffries adjusts price target on GameStop to 180 from 190. Maintains hold rating. A nothing burger. Just a nothing burger from these guys. Let's see. Cody says, I'm 1 hour behind here, but from an hour ago, cheers for blocking people for spamming their stocks, Bruce. Also, why not expose the slime balls sending you emails asking you to promote crap stocks for money? Give us names. Yeah, well, we're not going to do that, but, Bertie, Auntie, thank you. Auntie, Gregory Allen, what's Monday? Mr. Seneca, 177.5. Don't know what this is about. Makes you happy they lowered the price target. It's a nothing burger. It's nothing. Another SPAC, of course, gets love on the CNBC this morning. None of ours. Yes, another EV battery company. They just keep pushing all the green energy stuff, getting old and crowding the market. Let's see. Ariko is saying, Red Solo Cup. Just finished up a 2-hour training myself, debating buying back my SoFi calls or seeing if they'll expire worthless on 12/23. Eventually with Duncan, hey guys, I'm picking up my repaired iPhone today, so what are the plans for this afternoon? Let's see here. Nice job, Seneca. Thanks, Nick. Good luck, adventures with that phone of yours. We've got Rocket Lab down 21 cents, 12.73 after hitting a low here of 12.61. So we're 13 cents off the low. SoFi at 16.22. This is just around the low of 16.17. 16.17. GameStop down 12.81 to 160.84. Matterport up 6 cents to 26.09. ME up a dime. Spire up 9.5. ATIP down 1.5. Smart Rent down 4. Sixterra up 9. There's nothing here to get excited about in this market. There's it's a nothing burger market. We're down 36 points on the Dow. 1/10 of a percentage point. S&P down 1/3 of a point. Nasdaq down 123. 123 points down 0.79%. Oil down 72 cents a share. That's where we're at here. That is the dealio. Not much to jump up and down about. GameStop is off $12. That's the mover. And the question is, what do you do about it? Those of you who have written calls, you've had an opportunity now all day to scoop up cheap calls if they're coming your way. That's good stuff. I don't know how long it'll stay down here. I don't know where it's going to go from here for sure. But, today was a day that we have a sell-off and an opportunity to scoop back calls. Julia, look at the daily Spire chart. Weird looking. What's happening to Spire? Would love it to go up. Larry, we're light on thummies today. There's no afternoon show, so we got to give them some thumbs ups. Thank you, those of you who are giving me thumbs ups. We do have 396 thumbs ups right here on this show, and I thank you for getting me almost to 400 as it is. If you're able to hit that thumbs up button, please help us out. That would be tremendous. Thank you. Anti-PC is a day of the week. Bertie, thank you for this donation. Uncle, before you and I would want to jump out of my window for on red days, you have the ability to keep me sane. You're the stock market whisperer, your favorite idiot. Thank you, buddy. Glad you're making money out there. It's good stuff, man. Sometimes you make money on up days. Sometimes you make money on down days. Sometimes you make money on flat days. And that's the way option writing can work for you. And I'm happy for a lot of you out there who have been able to score some really nice returns. Those of you who are taking classes, on my website, I thank you. Of course, I encourage you to consider more. Consider doing it. Take the time and invest in yourself. Learn how you can write options and enhance your revenue in your account. It's absolutely imperative that you can do that. Let's see. Got that. Yeah, cool. Gabriel. Thank you, Gabriel, for that donation that came through there on PayPal. Thanks, buddy. Again, thank you all of you who are just making donations and sending us kind words and everything. We appreciate it very much. We can't have every day being a blockbuster, up 400-point day. It just doesn't work that way. But boy, when the markets are so, you can still make money. And that's what I love about this, how this market is working for you guys. 407 thumbs ups there coming up now. Thank you for 407 thumbs ups, guys. Appreciate it. We're down 1, 2, 3, 4. We're down 1234 on GameStop at 161.31. The low is 160.68 today. We're down 35 points, 35.9 points on the Dow, down 15 on S&P, and we're down 109 on NASDAQ. Again, those of you who are writing options, you have taken your account to another level, and you are now basically in the top 1 percentile for utilizing the assets you have and making them work for you. So few people actually write option contracts. Very few investors actually write them. Most option players only buy calls and just try to make money on the way up. That's all they know. It's all they understand. It's all they can get in their heads. They don't think that they can write. They don't understand that the possibility of writing options gives you a possibility of a steady cash flow all the time. And those of you who truly want to change your worlds and you want to pay off those student loans quicker that you've been paying off for years and years. You want to get out of credit card debt. You want to get out of car loan payment debt. You want to knock off a second mortgage. You need money to buy new furniture. You need a new stove or a fridge, or you have to paint the house, or whatever you need the money for. It's possible you may well have assets that you're sitting on that you don't realize can make you money, and that is by writing call options against what you've already got. And I am sometimes shocked by the size of the assets that some of you have that you think are just, oh yeah, they're in that work thing over there. You have the ability to take control of these investments and run them yourself. And you're watching me talk about this. You guys have opportunities to take control of your lives and really generate some revenue. Might not sound like a lot, but boy, even a couple of $1,000 every month that you can bring in from option writing can make one heck of a difference, because you multiply that after 5 or 6 or 7 months of time, and 10 to 15 grand additional money coming into your control in the next 6-8 months can make a difference around the house big time. And it's just one step at a time, one day at a time, one trade at a time. You're not changing the world overnight. You're doing it in increments. But by getting you to write call options, I am making you make the hardest trade there is to make, the toughest trade to make in the stock markets, and that is a sell trade. The toughest one to make, because you never know when you should sell. No one is telling you when to sell. And with an option writing campaign, you have to write a contract. You have to sell a contract to start the deal. And it's all in how you offer the contract and sell the contract that can make or break your returns to be either mediocre or spectacular. And this is why I ask you to and encourage you, check out these classes. We talk about these stink bids there, and we talk about how to offer contracts, how to buy them back, how to look for telltale signs of contract appreciation. There's so much more to talk about. There'll be so much more coming. I'll be doing new classes going forward, but catch up with the 10 I've done already, and then we'll kind of take it from there. And I can see how I'm certain you guys are going to do really well here. I can't wait for Bruce to offer LLC class. I'm first in line for that one. Soon, my friend. I smell money. Just checking in. Got out of the class in the morning. Chicago, the markets are quite flaccid today, it says. We've got See Bruce, We Can Learn. Don't even mention the EV stock. Didn't even mention it. Not going to get accused of being a pusher on your channel. Oh, there you go, BW. Andy, the market is boring me today. NPC, same. It's weirdly stagnant. I smell money. Bruce, what other class topics are you thinking of? I've been thinking about the psychology of the market, a lot more of those classes. I've been thinking about the rollover rollover strategies, more of that. I have to get into much more of that and get much more specific in that area. It's going to be a number of classes there. I'm going to talk to you about leveraging up your calls when you do poor mind covered call writing. I'm going to talk about certainly the LLC class, the S corporation, the C. I'll talk a little bit more about that area. I've got to talk to some tax people and try to get some basic info that I can come off half-assed, quasi-reasonable on it for you. I've got homework to do there. There's a lot coming up. There's a lot we still have to cover, and there always is, because the more you know, the more you need to know. And this, you never know it all, not in this market. So, yeah, I've got a number of topics to get through here. Let's see. Let's see. So the question off topic, but about your past work, what was the fanciest dinner meeting you had when in the Cayman Islands, or anywhere that you just went, holy crap, that was wow. People live like this. Let's see. Hmm. Let me think a minute. Fanciest meeting. Well, I'll put it this. I'll put it to you this way. Jennifer and I, when we first got together, um, date night would happen from time to time. I mean, we first moved in together. We were just, 21-year-olds, making enough money to get by. I was finishing college. We moved to Alberta, and I was a clock repair guy, fixing watches. She was working at the real estate board in the office. Yeah, we were not living the high life. I mean, we're just middle class kids, just 21, 22, just trying to kind of make a go of it. But once in a while, we would go out for dinner together because we both had memories as children when our parents would very rarely take us out to a nice place. As we, and you may have found this in your life, maybe not, but as we got older, we reached our teenage, our 12s and 13s and 14-year range. At that time in my parents' life and in Jennifer's parents' life, especially in Jennifer's side, she had four other brothers and sisters. But by the time she was 15, she was the last one in the house. Everyone else was gone. She was the youngest. And at that time, her father was making the most money he had ever made because he was moving up the ranks with the firm he was with. And so they would go out to some of the hangouts that he would go out to in downtown Calgary. Now, that included the Press Club, which was kind of a unique, fun place, but that also included the CP Rail Hotel, the Palliser Hotel in downtown Calgary, which until about the 80s was probably the fanciest place you could go for dinner if you went into the main dining room. And she would recall times where they would go to the Palliser maybe for mom's birthday or Mother's Day or something like that. And it would be just the three of them because the boys and they were all grown up and they were gone now. So Jen and I would once in a while would go to a place like this. And I remember one year, I couldn't believe it. We got, you've probably seen these in your town too. You used to be able to buy these coupon books, and the proceeds from the coupon book would go to some local charities after the costs were all paid for. You might pay like $25 for this 500-page coupon book, and $10 would go to your local whatever. And the book would have all kinds of coupons from Domino's and McDonald's and Burger King, and your tire center would give you a discount, the mechanic, and blah, 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 blah. Well, in our case, one year, they had coupons in there from the Rimrock Room at the Palliser. And I think we could get 50% off the dinner bill, not including alcohol. And we looked at each other and went, we're going to buy this book because there are like 5 of these things. You could use one every so many months. And we would go to the Palliser together. So we'd get dressed up. I'd put on a suit and tie. Jen would be all fancied up. We'd go out for a Sunday evening dinner or a Saturday dinner or whenever. and it would just be the two of us. And we would be sitting in a wonderful restaurant with top-notch service. We ordered the Chateaubriand for two, and the Caesar salad, which would be made at the table right in front of you in the big wooden bowl. Oh, fantastic! Anyway, I got used to that with Jennifer because we spoiled ourselves and we would save up and we would get these deals and do it. We would generously tip the waitress and all that, waiters and all that. But anyway, when I became a broker, these business lunches we would have would be at the Palliser in their main ballroom, or it would be at the Westin. And some of these presentations that we would have would be there'd be like 300 of us in the room, all in these large round tables, 10 people per table. And we would be fed by the entity doing a presentation, and it would be very good. It would be very nice meal, very nice meal. But we would, I mean, I got so used to it that it wasn't a big deal for me anymore. I was now used to going into five-star restaurants time and time again. So I actually turned the table. And instead of being the one impressed by going out to a place like this, I would be the guy impressing people to take them out to a place like this. So I used to love going to the Westin Hotel in downtown Calgary for breakfast. I used to love having steak and eggs at the Westin Hotel in downtown Calgary because the steak was charbroiled. It wasn't pan fried. It was a charbroiled steak. And if you asked for it to be medium rare, it was medium rare. And it cost a fortune for steak and eggs in the morning. And at that time you could buy a McDonald's breakfast like all in for like $1.40. Here I am buying steak and eggs for $14. That was serious. But what I would do is I would have a rookie salesman, like rookie hadn't made any money yet, and he's just living off of a $500 to $600 a month salary just to get through the security scores. And I would want to pump them up, and I would want to, get them through the last of the hump, getting through the courses and now getting through the exams, and then you're going to go after clientele. And so I would wait, and I would see some mornings I could tell that the atmosphere of the office would be a little quiet or whatever, and I could tell that the rookies over here weren't having a great morning, or they'd just be sitting there with their legs up on their table, and they'd be folding little paper airplanes and not getting anything done. So I would need to motivate them, and I would walk by their desk, and there'd be like two or three of them there, and I would say, "You three guys, yes sir," because all of a sudden the manager is standing there and they're just bagging off. I'd say, "I'm taking you out for breakfast. We're leaving in 5 minutes. Get ready." And straighten up your ties and put on your jackets. We're going to someplace nice. Ooh, all right. Now they run to the bathroom, check their hair, straighten out their tie, put on their suit, make sure they were smith. And then we would go for a walk. And in those days in Calgary, and even now, Calgary is a labyrinth of plus 15 walkways, 15 feet above street level. So you don't have to walk outside. So in the middle of the winter, when it was 30 below out, you could just keep your suit and tie on. You could walk inside all these plus 15 levels and go wherever you need to go. I would take them to the Westin about 2 blocks away. And we'd go into the Westin, and you could hear that fancy piano music in the background in the lobby, and it's a sedate, calm environment, and it's a very classy, very businesslike, very nice. It would be a Tuesday morning, and we'd walk through the lobby, and they'd have the 40-foot high Christmas tree if it was Christmas time or whatever. And we'd go over to my favorite the restaurant. It wouldn't be the high end restaurant, but it would be the number 2 restaurant in the hotel. And the hostess, the gal running the restaurant, she's in charge of that restaurant, had been for 20 years. She knew me by my name. She knew me by name. And I'd come walking up with these three brokers doing this. Look at this place. "Oh, hello, Mr. Farmer. How many do we need today?" I said, I need a table for 4. If you could set us up right away. Follow me, please, Mr. Farmer. And these 3 guys are like, wow, she knows his name. And so in we'd go, and the waiter would be right there, and coffee would be poured, and then we'd get the menus, and I would say to the guys, I say to the guys, you can have whatever you want, but let me tell you, the best thing about this restaurant is the steak and eggs. That's what I'm going to have. It's the best thing. Wouldn't even look at the menu, and they go, oh, sounds good. I said, it's on me, boys. Whatever you want. And I'm going to have steak and eggs with the boss. So we'd all order steak and eggs, and it would be like 9:45 in the morning, and here we are, and we would get served on real china, like real and silver type utensils and cloth napkins. I mean, the whole 9 yards. It was nice, and the coffee would always be refilled. We'd have fresh glass of orange juice. It was top notch, and I would be dropping $80 on these, on this dinner, and I would use the opportunity to pump these guys up, and I would just very subtly explain to them that this is the lifestyle that you can enter now. If you play your cards right, this is the world in which you will now become very familiar. And the concierge and the folks in front of the restaurant, they will know your name. And if you play your cards right, you will bring clients here for lunch from time to time. You won't be here every day, but you'll be here, a couple of times a month. You'll be here 3, 4 times, and you'll bring new leads in here. You'll bring clients that you're trying to, become their broker, their investment advisor. You'll bring them here because you're showing success to them, and image is everything. I mean, so I would work with them for an hour, hour and a half. I'd have them all to myself for an hour. No phone calls, no girlfriends phoning, nobody bothering us, no market interruptions. I have them all to myself, which is by design. And we would walk out of there, and they'd walk out of there with their chests pumped up. They'd be all pumped up. They couldn't wait to get back to the office to get to work. They were ready to make it happen. And on the way back, we would stop at a shoe shine spot, because along these plus 15 levels would be these shoe shine spots. And I'd say to the guys, boys, if you're going to talk to senior executives about becoming their investment advisor, you better dress like these guys. You better present yourself like they present themselves. Look around this restaurant and see how well dressed these folks around here are. We're not talking schmucks here. There's nobody unemployed eating here. Okay, we're all making it. You want to join this world? You better be part of it. And so we'd stop at the shoe shine place, and I would get their shoe shine. I'd pay for that. And I'd say to them, you might need to get your hair done. Your hair is getting a little frumpy too. And the next morning they'd come in with haircuts. I mean, they would just be spiffed up. And I would meet the spouses of these gentlemen at Christmas time. And it would be the only time I'd really meet their wives. And they would thank me. They would thank me for being their manager, saying, before he became your employee, I couldn't get him to get a haircut. He was just slopping around all the time, and I kept telling him that if you want to be successful, you got to look the part, and you have gotten into his head. You figured it out, and I said, well, you're more than welcome, because they just need a mentor that can show them the way. And so these fancy places. I was never ever taken anywhere. Like, I was never taken on a private jet ride to Aspen, Colorado to hang out with a client for a weekend. Nothing like that. I didn't deal with those clients. Those clients dealt with others, very high up with the senior brokerage firms that also had private jets as well. They were in their own little world. I wasn't in that world, but it was kind of cool to be in the higher corporate end of things, and be exposed to that. But I really enjoyed being a mentor to the younger guys to bring them up. And I wasn't that old. I was 26, 28, 30 years of age as manager. I was doing what 50-year-old managers I thought should be doing. Not all were doing it either. And I did see 50-year-old managers and VPs of brokerage firms wearing frumpy suits, old cracked shoes. Their hair would be, I mean, it was shocking how some of these firms would have some of these guys running 20-man, 30-man, 40-man brokerage offices. But I had to keep my guys motivated. And I was with a small brokerage house that didn't have the brand name or panache of a high-end brokerage firm from New York. We were we had to grind our way up. And so I had to find ways to motivate my kids. And I did. And I would take 50-year-old brokers who were tired, who had been doing this for 20 years and they'd been promised great things and they just hadn't seen it. Now there's this new 29-year-old punk manager who's going to show me how to be a better broker, you know? And I would grab these guys too. But I would do them one on one. I would never take them with two other brokers and then talk to them how they could be better. I would go one on one only, sign of respect. But my young kids, I'd take three or four together. Yeah, but my senior guys, one on one. And I would ask my secretary to ask the broker, would you be free for lunch this Friday? How's your schedule looking? Are you free for lunch, or we can have lunch together? And he would give him a couple of days, and that would be another sign of respect, rather than just coming in and going, "We're going for lunch right now. Let's go." That would be, you do that on someone who's struggling, not, yeah, and also someone younger that you can kind of kick around. But a senior salesperson like that, you treat them with the respect they deserve. And these guys would have 2 days to prepare for the one on one. And then we'd get together, and I would ask the salesman, tell me what it's like from your end of the thing. I want to hear what are you thinking? What do you want? Where are you at? What's good? What's bad? What can be better? How can the firm do better for you? What are you doing? What would you like to be better at? Where should we be headed? I mean, they couldn't believe it. The manager was just sitting there going, "You're talking to me. I'm not talking to you. You're talking to me." And they would be able to just talk and just talk and just talk. And we'd have an hour, uninterrupted hour. And at the end of it, I'd get my 15 minutes in, and we'd walk back together, and he'd be all pumped up. He'd be pumped up, and would stop. Let's get our shoes shined. We deserve a shoe shine today, and we'd get our shoes shined up, and then we'd walk in together and looking spiff and fed and feeling great, and the relationship would be tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter, and that's how I built the loyalty. At least I tried to. So sometimes these places can be very helpful to further one's way forward. Other times you got to let people go. That's the other thing. Anyway, there you go. Hey, Uncle Bruce, curious if you could look at a Goldman Sachs for a deep in the money call for March and April. What do you think about Goldman Sachs? Let's see if I can make anything happen there. Hang on. Goldman Sachs. Let's see. Stock is 396.65. And let's take a look at something here. I don't know. What do we got? What were you thinking about here? March, April. Okay. How about March? March 2022. Alrighty. Let's take a peek here. Here's something. March 330, 71.75 to 73.50. So maybe 72 range. If you could buy that call at 72, it is 66 in the money. That would be a $6 premium. That's acceptable. You'd hold that contract for maybe 2 months or so, and then unload it. Maybe 2 months. Let's go further though. Let's go a little further out if we can. How about June's? Let's see. See what they're looking like. June 330, $76, $77. That's a $10 in the money, but a $10 time premium, but it's out to June next year. So you'd hold that for 2 months and then roll into August's or September's, always staying that far out. So you might lose $2 or $3 time premium only after you sell it off, and then move into the next one, and then move to the next one. And right against that, 350s are 61ish. That's not a bad price either. That's a $46 book value, $47 book value. Well, no, that's a bit expensive. Maybe that's a bit expensive at 60. Maybe we can't do that. 320s are 76 in the money, 77 in the money. Yeah, 320s might go. They're $85, $84 each. That might be a couple of candidates right there. If you could find a candidate in that, say, $50, $60, $70 range, that's $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 a contract, ballpark, maybe 80. Rather than paying $40,000 to buy 100 shares, under $80 a contract, you're going to get 5 of them. for the equivalent of $40,000 if you're going to buy 100 shares versus 5 calls. And now you can start writing 5 calls. Okay. Uncle Bruce, hi. Is GameStop stink bid at 14.90 for February 200s too low? How about June 220s? Let's take a look at the GameStop right now. Where are we at? I know a lot of you are watching the GameStop shares. 163 right now, 163.32 over into the options market. Let's take a look at Feb 200s if we can. 1 minute. Here we go. Pop up my February's and yeah, February 220s right now. Okay, where am I at right now? Hold on. Oh, come on, machine. You can do better than that. Hurry up. Get me up here. Okay, there we go. February the 18th, I believe, of the contracts. 200s. 1665 bid. And you're looking at 1490 bids. Stink bids 1490, and the market right now is 1665 bid, 1775 ask. They're off today 630 a contract. Last trade at 1745. That's interesting in that the shares have dropped 1040 and the contracts have dropped 630 and the bids are $1 less almost. That's a 730 drop for bid interest. That is substantial. That is a substantial move lower today. This lower stock prices really hit these contracts fairly aggressively. Interesting to see. I'm noticing that the 210s are 1480 bid, the 220s are 14 bid, the 230s are 1260 bid, 190s are 1870 bid. So there's like $2 between the 190s to the twos to about the 210s. So you're trying to get these at 1490 and the contract is showing 1665 bid. Now, if you want to settle up today and you want to try to scoop it, maybe 1490 might be too low, but 1605 might be a stink bid, or 1555 might be a stink bid to move into, just a little bit higher, not too much higher. See if the stock gives you a little more. Obviously, if the shares dip a bit further from here, right now we've been as low as 160.31. We're at 162.85. If we drop below 160 to the 159, 158 level for a moment today, and it has been a downwards pattern. If that were to happen, then perhaps the calls will drop off some more. But on the other hand, we could be going from 162 something now to 165 and level off a bit. I'm not saying we will, we won't. That's just what we have right now. What are we looking at also? June 220s. Let's take a look at June 220s. We've got June coming up here. 220s right now showing 2970 bid. Last trade $32 and it's 2970 bid. So this is going to drop another $3 to be down 1040 from the last time it traded. You're trying to get 1605 fill and you're at 29 right now. So you're a mile away on these 220s with a $29 bid right now. So you're not in line yet to score this deal. That 1605 pricing, you're still going to need a substantial drop from here, or time will be needed to be passed for you to get that 1605. Time will work for you in both of these contracts. Time will be your friend. Even if the shares bounce up to the 170.80 range, time will pay you. But obviously a down dip can help a lot. But as far as these 220s go, there is no down dip I see today that will get you anywhere near your 1605 stink bid. Time will be your friend at this point. I mean, I can see the stock reaching 158 today, theoretically, for a 5-minute hit, but that won't drop the 220s enough to get you to 1605. It might drop the 200s close to that 15 level, somewhere in that 15 neighborhood. It might do that. But that's what I see as of right now today. Classes are wonderful, says Julie B. Thank you, Uncle B. Whoa, I bought my April GameStop 220 on a stink bid hit, says DQ. Everybody has a range. Hey, guys, have a great day. Joe, for example, March 360s have a significantly lower time value for some reason. Might be the way to go. You may want to make that move. That's on that Goldman Sachs thing. I don't know. Anybody have an answer for Will? Best app site for following and tracking your stocks. What do you think? What should Will do? Who thinks? Who has an idea for that? I was just talking about this with a friend yesterday. No one talks about writing contracts. You picked a good lane, Uncle Bruce. Erico, Bertie, well said. I used to react the same way on red days. Let's get those likes in, people, says Midnight Adventure. Gayote, Mr. Seneca, since you have only one DTE, I would honestly wait. But even if you did buy back now, it's a damn nice profit. Erico, he has the calm, laughing out loud. Mr. Seneca, Gayote went ahead and bought them back for 70. I'm pretty happy with the profit. Wish I'd written more of them, though. John, I caught Matterport at the high today and wrote 3 call options today. Well done. Well done. Cheers to you, Bruce. Never would have done it without you. Way to go, John. You're scoring on these. Way to go. 25.64 down 39 cents now on Matterport. So the shares of Matterport this morning were as high as 27.80. We're now 25.60. That's a $2.20 drop from the high. You've already ahead on those contracts, I'm sure, John. Way to go. Way to go. Let's go. Bruce, you should offer a poll to your members to see where the most interest is for new classes. Venture Duncan, hey, Bruce, have you ever thought about workshop? Just an idea. Hadn't thought of it. I got a LLC in the beginning of the year. If I want to save money on tax, I'll have to convert to an S Corp. Just for your information. S Corp is better, says Oscar. Okay, everybody, gotta run. You take care, Duncan. Thank you, buddy. Joe, the psychology of the market falls somewhere between a toddler tantrum and a QAnon scientific theory. Coyote, gotta run. Bertie, I have an S Corp. Write-offs are phenomenal. Named it after my real estate experience. Al's Headaches Incorporated. True story. Just secured profits on my first ever covered call. Bryce, way to go, man. That's fantastic. Bryce, nicely done. Nice work. Nice work. Sold Matterport covered call for December 17 at 30 for 227. Just closed the contract for 77-cent stink bid. Beautiful job. Beautiful done. Nicely done. Way to go. Thank you. Well done. It feels good, doesn't it? Says Vito. Doesn't it feel good? Yes, it does. Let's see. Ratish says, James, I know a partner at a hedge fund, functioning alcoholic, lives on a boat, new woman every day. Saddest thing I've ever seen. Are they going to let Spire get higher than 440? Asks Auntie. I don't know. 443 is what I see right now, Auntie. So I'm behind on your message here. 443 right now. High today, 445. So boom, answered and here we go. So she saw it already. Okay, go baby, go. Let's see. Sitting on 1,000 Spire, really needed to take hold, says Gonzo. Gonzo says, Ratish, me too. I got 2,000. Uncle Bruce, do you have photos from that time? Yes, I do. But you don't have enough money. But I have photos. Yeah, you don't have enough money. Let's get Uncle Bruce to 500 likes. Later, Bagel Gang. See you tomorrow. GameStop, Spire, SoFi to the moon, says Scott. Sorry, folks, my question took up his time, but fascinating to hear from a person who walked the walk and talked the talk, and all at 4'7" tall. That is impressive. How could she not forget my name? She wouldn't forget my name if I'm only 4'7" tall. Of course. Oh, hello, Mr. Frommer. Well, of course. Oh, yes. I need a channel for story time with Uncle Bruce. That was cool. 433 thumbs ups. I don't pay for the site, but there's lots of information there. Bruce, I would be a member of staff with the scruffy shoes, unruly beard, and suspicious odor. I wouldn't have hired you. You had to have looked decently cleaned up if I'd have hired you in the first place. Oh, man. Oh, Gregory, we'd be taking you in for cleanups. I'll tell you that. Larkin, Uncle Bruce, how likely do you think Evergrande will pull down the market by 15% or more in the next year? I don't know if that will happen from that. China will have issues, though. There's no doubt about that. Joe, Uncle Bruce, I finally had enough scratch to get another 100 shares of GameStop. Now I am writing 4 contracts a week, and I hope to raise that to 5 real soon. Thanks for getting me to secure my financial future. Joe, way to go, buddy. That is good stuff. Now, if you can clear $5 a week on option trades on GameStop from deterioration and depreciation on now 4 contracts, that's 2,000 a week that you're bringing in, and soon 5 contracts, 2,500 a week. It adds up quickly and it compounds beautifully. By the way, the Spire at 442 volume, 173,000, incredibly light, just amazing. We got Rocket Lab down 14. We got SoFi down 60. GameStop down 10.48. Matterport down 48 cents. ME up 17 cents. Spire up 13 cents. ATIP down 7 cents. We're at Smart Rent down 6 and Sixtera up 11 cents. The Dow and the markets overall are now negative 27 on the Dow, negative 13 on the S&P, and negative 103 on NASDAQ. There you have it. There you go, folks. My early show is done, and it's the only show I'm doing today. I will not be on this afternoon at 3 o'clock. We'll be at the airport picking up somebody special. Our daughter is coming in today, and she has a friend coming with her, and we're looking forward to grabbing him and bringing him here. So I will be back on the air tomorrow, 8:30 in the morning, and tomorrow afternoon. And I look forward to visiting with you then. You're on your own for the rest of the day today. Make the right moves and make them profitable. Thank you all for your support and your kind words, these donations, becoming members, subscribing, everything that you guys do for us. Jen and I, so much appreciated. Of course, so remember, Saturday, day after tomorrow, we will be in Ontario for our first ever meet and greet. If you are one of those folks that made a donation to come on out to that event, we are looking forward to visiting with you. Please send us an email and make sure to tell us that you're coming and give us the names of the folks that are going to attend if there's more than one of you or yourself, so we can add you to the list for our big fat bouncers. And we'll stay on top of that. Thank you for the 457 thumbs ups we have going right here, right now. 457 thumbs ups. Thank you all for throwing them at us. Appreciate it very much. It makes a difference. Trying to get to 500 thumbs ups here. Hopefully that'll happen between now and later today as folks watch this rerun. That would be fantastic. Thank you again for your kind support and best wishes. I wish you a wonderful day today. And we will see you here tomorrow morning at 8:30 in the morning. And we'll catch up with you then. Looking forward to it. See you, simpletons, says Bama Babe. And you off tomorrow? I'm off today. This afternoon. I'll be back on tomorrow, though. And have fun with Jen Jr. Thanks as always for your insight, support. You're doing a great work. Thank you, BW. And Oscar, thank you for the super sticker. I love you. Appreciate the $1.99 super sticker. We love them all. And again, thank you for all of your donations today and every day. So there it is, guys. Make a bunch of money today. Get rich and score your contracts. Write new ones and just make money. Just get richer. And we'll see how it goes. Okay, Michael, thanks, buddy. See you tomorrow. Uncle Bruce and pals from Larry. Have a good day, evening, Uncle Bruce, and good luck to you all in the meantime. Alex, thanks, Uncle Bruce. Say hi to Jen Jr. from all of us. Will do. You got it, guys. Thank you. We will do. Beach Boy, thank you. Uncle Bruce, go pick up your daughter now. Splair, see you soon. And if not, have a good weekend. Paul, peace, Obama Babe. Beach Boy, let me know. Are we on for Sunday? I don't remember if we're doing this or not. I have no other openings but yours. Everything else is booked up. Let me know and we'll see what we can do. Anyway, there it is, everybody. Thank you all. And we'll talk to you tomorrow at 8:30. All right. Bye for now.